and Nick Collison hoping to get things going right now. Both these teams at 6-3. Collison, of course, with the Jayhawks has 19 points per game to go with 9 rebounds this season as well. Cal has just 1 loss. That was in overtime to Georgia. But Kansas has 3 losses. John Saunders alongside of Digger Phelps. When you look at the Jayhawks, okay, they've got 3 consecutive victories now. They've got it going again. But still, the 3 losses something to mark as they shoot towards March.
Absolutely. And that last loss was at Oregon where they really got pounded. But I feel this way. I think Roy Williams knows now if he can get Wayne Simmey and Nick Collison 30 shots a game, they're going to be a force in the paint, and that takes the pressure off their perimeter game so Heinrich Langford can make the things happen by shooting and penetration. That's why Kansas now is a threat. And don't forget, at 12-8, Kansas in '88 won a national title, so 3 losses now mean nothing.
Larry Brown, though, is not around this year.
Right.
Kentucky against Louisville. It's always a fierce battle in this one. Made so even more because of the transfer, Marvin Stone.
Stone is so good inside. He's another force, makes it happen inside. He can step out and shoot that. With him in the paint and him on the free-throw line, he's one of those guys that makes a lot of things happen for Louisville now inside.
Yeah, almost for Kentucky because he played there before transferring. That's Bogans who lays it in. 20-9 is the lead. Then Eric Brown nails a 3-pointer. Louisville then comes up with the steal of the inbounds. And Garcia easily lays this one back up and in. Fooled even the camera guys. And that's the way things would go for Kentucky. Ellis Miles then on the fast break. He winds up with a dunk, 75-56. Louisville's 6th consecutive victory, and Tubby Smith 1-6 now against his former boss, Pitino.
But when Kentucky tries to win with threes and they go 3 for 18, they're not going to win. But Louisville, great balance, 5 guys in double figures. Rick Pitino's defense and rebounding in the second half turned this whole game around.
Oklahoma loses to Mississippi State today. Both these schools now with just 1 loss, and you see Michigan over UCLA 63-47.
I love Mario Austin in that lineup. Of course, Oklahoma does not have an Aaron McGee in the paint, but Mississippi State with Mario Austin, 18 points, 8 rebounds. This is going to be a tough team in the SEC. UCLA really fading away.
We'll continue with more of NCAA basketball brought to you by UBS Payne Weber. Kirk Heinrich, 16 points a game. He's going to need that and more to lead Kansas against Cal. It is coming up next.
I'm untouchable.
Triple the action, triple the adrenaline, triple the special features. The most anticipated special edition DVD of the new year. Triple X. Buy it Tuesday on special edition DVD.
Everyone wants a beautiful retirement. But with a falling stock market, low interest rates, and a weak economy, you might not get there. That's where an Allstate fixed annuity comes in. It's an investment that's safe and protected. Ow, ow, ow. Better yet, it guarantees a good rate of return, so you know your money will grow. And you can have that beautiful retirement you've always hoped for. There you go, Allstate fixed annuities. Call for yourself and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
Own Ballistic, now on DVD and video. Antonio Banderas. Lucy Liu.
My turn.
2 deadly agents. Go ballistic. Own it today on DVD and video.
Jeff Garcia and the Niners take on the upset-hungry Rams in a season-ending clash of division rivals.
Michaels and Madden are here for Monday night.
January 8th, ABC Wednesday sizzles with 2 new big premieres. First, 25 guys, 1 girl, no holds barred.
It'll be a fight to the finish.
The Bachelorette, Wednesdays, 9/8 Central. Then, 7 celebrities willing to do anything to win big money, and 1 mole who will sabotage them all.
Stab everybody in the back, and we'll give you $1 million.
Celebrity Mole Hawaii, Wednesdays, 10/9 Central, following the premiere of The Bachelorette. 2 hot premieres, 1 sizzling Wednesday, beginning January 8th on ABC.
ABC NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber. This is the Pete Newell Challenge presented by Allstate. And today from the arena in Oakland, California, the number 19 Kansas Jayhawks taking on the Cal Golden Bears. I'm Dave O'Brien, along with my partner Jay Billis. Happy holidays from all of us at ABC Sports. We anticipate a terrific matchup today. Two of the best coaching minds in the game, and honoring one of the great legendary coaching minds of all time in Pete Newell, and in Roy Williams in Kansas. Two terrific All-Americans, Jay, in Heinrich and in Collison, as good as it gets.
Well, Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison, I think, form the best inside-outside tandem in the country, and Roy Williams has the best starting five in the country. The question is, can Cal get past those starting five and get into the bench of Kansas? If they do, the Bears will have a chance to win.
Let's get a look at the Toyota starting lineups for today's ball game here at the Oakland Arena. Nick Collison is enjoying an excellent senior year, averaging 19 a game. Cal's main weapon is Joe Shipp. Fellow senior Brian Weathers, he chips in with 15 a contest. Jay, Kansas, one of the great transition teams in college basketball. Ideally, Cal wants to keep the score somewhere in the 70s.
They do. They want to try to take Kansas out of their transition game, especially their secondary break, where Kansas tends to score a lot of their points. They also have to keep Kansas off of the free throw line. The Jayhawks get to the line, although they're only shooting 65% as a team, as you see Roy Williams. They get to the line, often score a lot of points there.
Well, he has taken them to 3 Final Fours, and there's Ben Braun in his 7th year at California, trying to get to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd consecutive season. And he guided the Golden Bears to the NIT title in 1999, so they're getting used to going to tournament play. We are ready to toss up the basketball here in Oakland, and the Pete Newell Challenge about to get started. Cal against number 19 Kansas, and Weathers in the backcourt has it for the Golden Bears. We are underway.
Right away, Kansas starts out in man-to-man. They will play some zone from time to time, but mostly man team.
Shipp free underneath quickly.
Came off a baseline screen right away. Something easy for California. Cal wants to make Kansas guard them every time down the floor. See if they can get some of these starters in foul trouble.
Now Langford will shoot it. His first touch, and it's off the mark. Yesterday in practice, he had his nose broken. And it was an inadvertent elbow by Christian Moody during the workout, but he is able to play nonetheless. It rolls out for Shipp. He tried to go 2 for 2 to start.
Langford did take that shot yesterday in practice. Saw him go down. He was woozy with that broken nose. It may be an issue for him, but right away trying to be aggressive in taking the shot.
Speaking of aggressive, Collison with a nifty tip in traffic and ties it up. The senior All-America candidate at 19.1 points a game. He's also vastly improved his foul shooting, which was a big issue a year ago. Well, Tamir tried to muscle his way in.
And here's the transition game that Kansas is so good at. They pass ahead so effectively. When Aaron Miles gets the ball, he does not look to the floor to put it down. He looks ahead.
And Heinrich was able to convert, the senior out of Sioux City, Iowa, with his first 2 to get Kansas in front.
Kansas really has to negotiate a lot of screens, especially back picks. There's denial pressure. Cal is going to look to go back door.
And now Kansas sitting there, as Digger Phelps pointed out, surprisingly with the 3 losses. But they've also won 3 in a row. Weathers with a fadeaway off the mark. And Tamir gets him a new shot clock. Tamir, who is actually from Israel. He's from Jerusalem, and he can shoot the 3-pointer, but they go low to Diggs. Now the swing for Weathers, the 3. And Miles hauls in the rebound.
Didn't make the shot, but great extra pass by Joe Shipp.
Collison on the dunk. What a feed by Miles in traffic.
And how much pressure, Dave, does that put on your transition defense when a big guy like Nick Collison runs straight up the gut to get a layup? Great pass, terrific catch and finish.
Collison, one of 4 Jayhawks starters, averaging over 16 points a game. But that's all they're really getting as far as scoring from the starting 5. Almost nothing from the bench. Hughes powers his way in for 2.
Nice job by Gabriel Hughes, who is very athletic and starting to show some signs of improvement. Simeon, not a very good job on post defense, trying to break contact, get around in front from the steal. Should have just stayed behind to make Hughes shoot over the top.
Hughes, a pretty good story. He was going to transfer to Fresno State after last season, but he changed his mind and stayed at Cal. He was only averaging about 4 minutes a game last season. Collison tipped away the steal, but here come the Golden Bears. Underneath the Shipp, he got fouled and he made the basket. He'll go to the line. Collison hit him. and yet the strength of Joe Shipp to convert the bucket.
That's exactly what it was strength. Joe Shipp went up expecting contact. Watch another nice pass ahead. Not very good job transition defense, but Joe Shipp expected that contact from Kirk Heinrich, went right into it, but still had the strength to finish that play. That's what great players do. They finish plays.
He can't finish the three-point play, which is rare for him. He's shooting about 90% from the foul line. Heinrich on the penetration. He takes the contact. 16:50 to go here in the first half in Oakland. It's the 6th annual Pete Newell Challenge, and we hope to talk with the coach, Pete Newell, who led Cal to a 1959 NCAA championship. We hope to have him with us in the second half, and there he is, the coaching legend, and a man you've worked with and know very well. It's one of the great coaching minds ever.
Well, I think without parallel as far as a teacher is concerned. Pete Newell is the finest teacher of basketball in the history of this game. I don't think there's any question about it. For the last 25 years has been running the legendary Pete Newell Big Man Camp. It has been in Hawaii. It's moving this year to Las Vegas and will be for collegiate players only. But you are looking at one of the finest minds this game has ever produced.
Heinrich now with 4 points. In fact, all 8 Kansas points have come from Collison and Heinrich, the All-American candidates. There's no surprise. Tossed away by the Cal Golden Bears. And here's Lee with a quick look to Miles on the baseline. How about that move?
Aaron Miles, a point guard, but that time running the lane with the nice steal by Kirk Heinrich. You know you've got 2 point guards on the floor at all times when Heinrich and Miles are out there together.
Way away from the basket, but he can shoot from that distance. And he's fouled before the shot. A reach-in foul by Michael Lee. Stops the clock with 16:17 left. New Year's Day, the Bowl Championship Series headlines our college football celebration on ABC Sports. At 4:30, Washington State takes on Oklahoma. That's in the Rose Bowl game presented by PlayStation 2. Georgia, Florida State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Thursday night, winner Carson Palmer and USC taking on Iowa in the FedEx Orange Bowl, all coming up on ABC Sports.
Well, I'll tell you, Dave, California's really done a nice job of spreading out this defense of Kansas. Kansas is trying to get out and deny, trying to push Cal further out in the floor, and their cuts and passes have been terrific in the half court.
Collison working on Tamir. Great pass in the paint. Miles was fouled. But a terrific look by Collison, and he is an exceptional interior passer, isn't he?
Well, he's got every post move in the book, so when he gets the ball inside, usually he's going to finish or get fouled, but has shown the ability to take the ball out on the perimeter a little bit more. This is something you don't see 6'9", 6'10" guys do that often. It takes it away from the basket, then spins back around and goes right around to meet Tamir. Nice move by Nick Collison. And that's the kind of thing he's going to have to show on the next level. Not only his ability to post up inside and finish there, but his ability to step away and hit shots, handle the ball effectively.
So your score, 11-8. Collison and Heinrich leading the Jayhawks out to an early lead here in Oakland.
Number 14, an available 32-valve I-Force V8 engine. Number 21, available downhill assist control. Number 77, available X-Rius Sport Enhancement suspension. Number 8, Hill Start assist control. Number 60, a larger, more comfortable interior. The all-new 2003 4Runner has been completely redesigned with nearly 100 new advancements and changes. It's larger, more powerful, and more capable.
Early in the morning when I wake up, I think, have I dreamt this whole thing? I get up and realize that JetBlue is serving tens of thousands of people on a daily basis.
We started 16 years ago with 2 people in 1 room. Our objective was to become the leading advertising and marketing services company in the world.
Growing up in the Detroit area, washing cars for $1.75 an hour was a great way to learn business from the ground up. Sun Microsystems is the best provider of network equipment for the world.
What I love about building a company is changing what's possible.
And trying to do something that has never been done before.
The way you succeed is by having a very clear vision and then executing that.
The day we went public was a huge birth of a new idea and a new company.
We knew we had to be a NASDAQ-listed company.
What NASDAQ gives you is a global name.
It gives us a platform, a stage on which to operate in every country of the world. WPP.
JetBlue.
Sun Microsystems, listed on NASDAQ.
NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Toyota. Get the feeling. NASDAQ, the companies moving the world forward.
We welcome you back to Oakland for ABC's NCAA basketball, presented by UBS Payne Weber. Jay Billis, Dave O'Brien, happy holidays from all of us here at ABC Sports. Already some good early shooting by Heinrich and by Collison, but a lot of those points are coming very close to the basket, Jay.
Well, they've gotten out in transition very effectively, whether it's been off a turnover or a missed shot. Kansas has run the ball to the other end and put a lot of pressure on Cal's transition defense. And Cal has done a nice job of exploiting Kansas's defense in the half court. They're facing a defense that's putting a lot of pressure on the ball, trying to get out into passing lanes and deny. And they've gone backdoor. Now a little high stack, a tandem. And this is where Tamir is dangerous, in the middle of the floor, because he can shoot it, and he's an excellent passer at 6'10".
Inside, outside. He can jump outside the three-point arc as well. And before the 5-second closely guarded, he is able to call a timeout and prevent a turnover with 5:37 to play here in the first half. Of course, Kansas last year led the nation in scoring at 91 points a game, en route to 33 wins and a Final Four. And they're pretty close to that this season, about 87 points a game. And so if you're Cal and Ben Braun, you certainly want to stay away from that transition offense kind of thing. They're going to get beat if they try.
Yeah, they want to keep them out of transition in their secondary break. But Kansas gets most of their scoring from their starting five. In fact, almost 90% of the Jayhawks points comes from the first unit, especially this big four: Collison, Keith Langford, Wayne Simeon, Kirk Heinrich. All those guys averaging over 16 points per game. But Kansas still scoring the way they did last year, just not in the same manner. They are not as good of a three-point shooting team without Jeff Boschee in there, but they are just as proficient at getting to the free throw line and getting quality shots. They just have to knock their free throws down, only shooting 62% on the season.
Shot clock is now down to 8. Kwame Leonard just into the ball game for Cal. They'll go about 8 deep. On a spin move, there's Weathers, tried the glass right in front of the expiring shot clock.
And Cal, not a great offensive rebounding team, so they're going to have to try to put that first shot in. They took way too much time on that shot clock.
Heinrich open. And it's on the top of the backboard, tipped off the rim. Simeon with a tough rebound under there, and on the reverse lays it in.
Dave, I don't think there's a better duo in the country inside than Wayne Simeon and Nick Collison. Both of them outstanding scorers, terrific rebounders.
Simeon at 16.8 points a game, plus the 9 rebounds. And we've been talking about Collison, about 9 rebounds and 19 points.
Shot goes up from the corner by Heinrich. Look at the board coverage. A terrific job by Collison of keeping that ball alive, and that allowed Wayne Simeon to get the ball on the other end. And look how he uses the basket to shield off the defender, not allow the block inside.
Kansas with a pretty healthy rebounding advantage, but Ship off a fadeaway. Gets 2 points back, 13-10 the Jayhawks.
Joe Ship is a strong athlete, unlimited range on his jump shot, much better this season at attacking off the dribble.
He has scored 8 of the 10 Cal points so far. Miles looking for Collison, now to Simeon. He shoots it quickly and got it.
For the ability to hit that shot, the elbow jumper trying to get into the high-low set. That's going to make other big guys come out and guard Wayne Simeon and make it that much tougher to stop Kansas.
Simeon leading Kansas with 5 double-doubles, including one of the Jayhawks wins Saturday against UCLA. That was a week ago. 19 points and 10 rebounds. Ship could not convert, and there's Simeon with a tough rebound.
Cal going to have to look to drive the ball at times when they've got some of the bigger players, Simeon and Collison, out on the perimeter. They got to put the ball on the floor and try to go around it.
Collison and Tamir got tied up. They both hit the deck, and Collison is hit for the foul. 15-10 Kansas.
I think Nick Collison wondering how he wound up on his backside. There you see the little push there. And that's how it happened. Collison was trying to plead with the official that he got pulled down, or that Tamir just went down in a heap as an little acting job. But sometimes the Oscar doesn't come your way, but the foul does.
When Tamir hits the ground, you feel it all throughout Northern California. He's 6'11", 260. There's Ship right by Langford. Tough move.
That's what's open. But when Kansas is out trying to pressure the ball, you've got to put the ball on the floor and put some pressure on their help side defense.
Langford threw it away, and so far he's a little bit sluggish. We talked about his broken nose suffered in practice yesterday. How much of that is affecting him?
Well, it may be affecting his ability to see the basket. I mean, certainly he may be trying to do too much as well. But right now, Aaron Miles is hurt as well. He might have taken a shot to the gut. He's holding his stomach.
Collison blocks Tamir, so a little payback there. And by the way, all 15 points have been scored by the Kansas starters, and that'll probably be the case most of the day.
See Joe Shipp putting the ball on the floor with his left hand, just going right around Keith Langford, and just a little bit too slow. Aaron Miles coming over from the weak side. And that's where Miles got hurt. Looked like he took a foot right in the gut. And Joe Shipp off to a terrific start. An outstanding score at 30 points against Cleveland State, 30 more against Howard. He can put points on the board in a hurry. All Pac-10 honorable mention last season.
Bubba Paris, his son, David Paris, gets into the ball game for Cal. 13:10 to go here in the first half. David Paris, the son of the former San Francisco 49ers star, Bubba Paris. Heinrich on the wing, guarded by Weathers. That'll be a pretty good tussle today, those two.
Tough matchup for Camille there.
Collison threw it away, but was it tipped? It was, and off of Kansas. So he threw it away. 15-12 the Jayhawks, and they have tumbled down to that number 19 from a preseason ranking of number 2. They come in with a 6-3 record, losses to North Carolina, Florida, and Oregon. The last 2 of those losses against top 10 teams at the time.
Well, those rankings are good for discussion purposes, but 19 is not an indication of how good this Kansas team is, nor how good they will be as the season goes along. This is a team still capable of getting to the national title game and winning the national championship, in my opinion.
Here's a guy, Michael Lee, handling the ball, who they would love to have step up a little bit. He's a sophomore. They need some bench help, and they'll turn to guys like Lee and Jeff Graves. Collison unloads a back iron 3 attempt, and Paris hauls it in.
Cal getting just what they want in this ballgame. Not a high-scoring affair thus far, and they forced Kansas to guard in the half court, turning more into a half-court game.
Weathers on the baseline got sealed off and double-teamed and turned it over. Well, Monday Night Football with Al Michaels and John Madden coming up in St. Louis, where the Rams are looking to go 8-0 with Mark Bolger at quarterback. To do it, they'll have to beat Pro Bowl bound Jeff Garcia and the 49ers. Monday Night Football live at 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific, right here on ABC. Heinrich heading to the bench at the 12-minute mark.
And you're looking right there at the best shooting guard in America. I don't think there is any question about that. Now, Dwayne Wade at Marquette, outstanding as well, but nobody has the complete package of the ability to run the point, shooting ability from the perimeter, knocking down free throws, being able to guard somebody as Kirk Heinrich of Kansas.
Heinrich coming off a 27-point effort against UCLA last Saturday. We'll see if Langford can get going. He kicks it out. The 3-point effort way too long, but Graves on the baseline did not take it up and shoot it. It's tipped out of bounds, and with 11:33 to play, a little emotion here in the first half at Oakland. Aaron Miles, the sophomore from Portland. Shipp has been on fire with 10 points for Cal.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe. Spin it, spin it, spin it.
All around the world, Siemens helps companies prosper by providing them with systems and controls that assure quality regardless of quantity. Whatever the product, wherever consumers consume, we want to help them savor life better.
Spin, spin, spin the globe. It's your turn to spin the globe.
Okay, crispy chicken sandwich and a Diet Coke. Would you like to add on a snack-sized fruit and yogurt parfait for $1?
Absolutely. What, am I like the millionth customer or something?
No, ma'am. Anyone can add on from the $1 menu for just $1.
This sort of thing never happens to me. Are there going to be balloons and confetti?
Well, it comes with granola.
Yes!
Got a buck? You're in luck. The McDonald's Dollar Menu. See something delicious, add it on for just $1.
Yay!
Woohoo! This New Year's Eve, drop in on ABC's Comedy Celebration.
I so want to go.
Here's how John handles his girls getting a New Year's kiss.
How about a little sugar? Here's a candy bar.
Jim's getting crazy with Dan Aykroyd.
I am a crazy guy. Don't you steal wool on the Teflon will scratch.
Bonnie's family is getting the house ready for their guests. Claude's bringing you surprise party favors. Bring in the new year.
It's party time.
Tuesday starting at 8, 7 Central on ABC.
Paul Callan investigates events no one can explain.
There's no miracle here.
Now he's about to uncover a mystery he was never meant to solve.
Miracles are like falling in love. You never believe it can happen until it happens to you.
But is what lies before him
Why would God do this?
good
Who said it was God?
or evil?
It's real.
What does it want?
Everything.
Miracles, coming in January to ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
Wishing everyone happy holidays from my family to yours.
Season's greetings from ABC Sports, home of the U.S. Figure Skating Championships.
The Cal Golden Bears knocking on the door of the top 25, taking on the Kansas Jayhawks here in Oakland, 15-12. Kansas has not scored, though, in 3 minutes.
Well, a lot of people think that you control the tempo by doing it defensively, but what Cal has done is control the tempo on the offensive end. Look how they're spreading out Kansas, and Kansas trying to put as much pressure as they can on Cal. And now look how spread the court is, and it's so spread that everybody away from the basketball, and it takes too long for help to get there on that drive by Joe Shipp. That's outstanding half-court offense by Cal.
Offensive foul on Kansas will give it over to Cal. Now, as far as the glass is concerned, the Jayhawks have owned it. They've out-rebounded Cal 11-3. Collison himself, Jay, has hauled in 7 boards.
Well, Collison averaging almost 9 rebounds per game on the season. The leading rebounder for Kansas has been Wayne Simeon on the year, and both of them are terrific offensive rebounders. But right now we're going to see Cal again try to spread the floor and make Kansas guard them. They're going to try to use the clock and move the ball from side to side. The longer they have it, the more Kansas has to guard.
Lonnie Leonard can't get it, but Tamir right there for the rebound. And a fresh shot clock here for Shipp and the Bears. Tamir shoots it, front rimmed it. Amit Tamir was very good from 3-point distance. And a foul on the dribble. 10:56 to go first half.
Tamir's actually a better 3-point shooter than he is a 2-point shooter. He's got inside-outside ability, but the outside much more effective for Tamir. Of his field goals, almost half of his field goals are threes.
The name Pete Newell is revered here in Northern California and in coaching circles around the country. As he coached at Cal, won the national championship. The Golden Bears have never lost in the Pete Newell Challenge. They are a perfect 4-0. Langford got hung up, but he shows off his athleticism. And even with the broken nose, he gets it to go.
Tremendous ability to get to the rim. Keith Langford can really attack off the dribble. He's improved his perimeter shooting to where he's more of a complete player.
Shipp up top, guarded by Langford. Can't dribble by him. Stolen away. Here's Miles. Off to Lee for 2.
Nice play by Nick Collison to knock that ball ahead to Miles, who got it off to Lee. That was outstanding.
So Kansas has opened up a 7-point lead and a foul underneath the basket as Graves was pushing and shoving down low.
Keith Langford, the lefty, off of ball reversal. Ball reversal is often the best time to attack off the dribble when you move the defense from side to side. Nice little spin move, and Keith Langford has that ability to hang in the air yet still finish. And one of the things he's done a great job of this season is get to the rim and get fouled. Although he's not hit his free throws, only shooting 52%, he will hit them as the season goes along.
Shipp underneath, great inbound speed there to convert. It's 19-14.
Kansas spent a good deal of time yesterday working on Cal's out-of-bounds underneath plays and talked about how important that was. Out-of-bounds under situations are much like the kicking game in football. They can be the difference.
Shipp has 12 points. An offensive foul on Kansas. A couple of times Tamir has gotten Graves and Collison in trouble under there.
Graves trying to get inside position, and he's just hooking around Tamir. And Tamir does a good job of trying to sell a call to an official. And thus far has gotten, as you mentioned, a call against Collison, now one against Graves.
Well, Amit Tamir played professionally in Israel before coming here to Cal. Nice jump shot by Weathers from about 15 to 19 feet. He can be deadly. And here at the arena in Oakland, California, is number 19 Kansas against California. Dave O'Brien, Jay Billis with you. It's the Pete Newell Challenge and an excellent matchup. Simeon holds it up high for the Jayhawks. They have tumbled from number 2 to number 19 in the rankings.
What a difference watching Kansas when they're trying to run their half-court stuff. Very efficient, but they do not run half-court offense as well as they run.
Yeah, it's down to 5, Jay. Miles with an around the back dribble, tossed it up and got it. And shot clock was about to expire on it.
Aaron Miles, a terrific passer, comes from the state of Oregon. He and Michael Lee played together at Jefferson High School. Both were
football and basketball players. But Miles is a guy that's got to continue to shoot the ball and shoot it well for Kansas to be their best.
Heinrich jumps out for the theft and banked it in. A pretty play by the All-America candidate Kirk Heinrich.
He's so much a better athlete than he gets credit for. Kirk Heinrich always attacks in transition, never slows down. He is as fast with the basketball as any player in the country.
And defensively, he's one of the best around, too, and doesn't get much credit for that.
No, he really does. I think as a two guard, a shooting guard, he's the best in the nation.
A steal here by the quick Miles out in front of the field. He'll do it himself. And Kansas going on a bit of a run here, 25-16, and doing it with Collison on the bench.
But how about that play by Aaron Miles? When Tamir got the ball in the post, he looked over his right shoulder, but behind his left shoulder, that's where Miles came from.
We talked about Kirk Heinrich, his ability to defend. He's a terrific anticipator, really gets out in a passing lane. Look with that right arm reaching out in the passing lane, knocking it away, and then he attacks, and there's no way that Brian Weathers is going to establish position. And there we see Miles again coming from the backside. There's no way that Tamir can see him looking over that right shoulder. And the finish every point guard dreams of.
Well, Miles and Simeon, Heinrich, Collison, and Langford, perhaps the best starting 5 in America. Well, New Year's Day, the Bowl Championship Series headlines our college football celebration on ABC Sports. 4:30 Eastern, Washington State takes on Oklahoma. That's the Rose Bowl game presented by PlayStation 2. It's followed by Georgia, Florida State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. Thursday night, Carson Palmer leads USC against Brad Banks in Iowa in the FedEx Orange Bowl. On Friday night, the battle of undefeated teams. #1 Miami against Ohio State for the national championship, the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. And I know Jay Billis will be glued to the set on ABC throughout the day on New Year's.
Well, I'm looking forward to seeing USC and Iowa play. I think the national championship game will spark a lot of interest just because of what's on the line. But you're looking at two teams in USC and Iowa that could lay claim to a national championship if it were a tournament format, which I hope someday it will be.
Well, Kansas looking to go to a national championship game after being stalled in the Final Four by Maryland last year. So your score 25-16 Kansas. They're on a 6-0 run. This is ABC Sports Championship Television.
We build it to withstand earthquakes, the elements, anything you can imagine.
At Toyota, we build to withstand the things you can't imagine.
The Tundra was given the highest overall safety rating for full-size pickups by the Insurance Institute for Highway Safety. The Toyota Tundra, better from the ground up.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, come on. Catch the ball before you run with it. Let's
Basketball 101. Basketball 101.
Touch
somebody. Touch somebody now.
What are you doing? There you go. Just like we drew it up. Come on. Tangled up with Roar.
Stay in the lane. Stay in the lane. Knock him down. Get out of the lane. No, just hit somebody. Go, Danny, go.
It's a disgrace. They ought to be ashamed of themselves.
Now that's what I'm talking about.
Are you the greatest football fan in America? Then prove it, and you could win a trip to the Super Bowl. It's the Greatest Football Fan in America contest. Watch Good Morning America next week for details.
The last great party of 2002 is also the first great party of 2003. The new year begins on ABC with Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, with performances by B2K, Missy Elliott, Nelly, Rod Stewart, Third Eye Blind, and more. Be there with Dick Clark live in Times Square. New Year's Eve starting at 10/9 Central on ABC.
My name's Friday. I'm a cop.
From the creator of Law and Order,
There's a serial killer out there right now hunting down young women.
Ed O'Neill.
We gotta get this guy now.
And Ethan Embry.
Talk or you'll never talk again.
The Badge is back. Dragnet coming in February to ABC.
John Saunders back in New York with the Speed Pass update. Minnesota against Texas Tech. The missed free throw is going to come back to Rick Rickard. who lays up a three-pointer. After moving to his right, the jumper is good. And this game goes into overtime after Texas Tech had led throughout. This is the end of regulation. Texas Tech had 21 seconds, and that was the best shot they got off. Bob Knight was not happy, but his squad is up 82-77.
And back here in Oakland, where Kansas on a little run has opened up a 9-point lead.
This Kansas team going to have to play Texas Tech in Big 12 play. I still think, along with the Southeastern Conference, Big 12 is the best conference in the country. And how about Andre Emmett of Texas Tech? You saw Robert Tomczak had 26, but is there a more underrated player in America than Andre Emmett?
Well, Bob Knight has said he might be the best player he has ever coached. How about that? Langford off to Collison, now free underneath. Langford with the dipsy-do.
That nose looks okay now, doesn't it?
Yeah. Really thrown away. He's on the baseline.
How about the pass by Collison, who had a wide open three if he wanted to pull the trigger? But
that's one of the things that makes Kansas a great team and a great program. They give up the ball for the better shot. It's not that he had a good one. A teammate had a better one.
Cal had better look out here. The lead up to 11 now, and Kansas starting to pile up those transition points that the Golden Bears wanted to stay away from.
Boy, did Simeon lay a screen out top on A.J. Diggs.
6'9", 255. You'll feel that screen. Turnaround rolls off, and Hughes with the board.
As big and strong as Simeon is, he's got a terrific touch. Shoots a great percentage from the field.
Kansas, by the way, has had trouble winning on a neutral court so far. All of their losses to North Carolina and Florida, those came in Madison Square Garden, and to Oregon at the Rose Garden, all coming on neutral courts. So a win today for Roy Williams gives Kansas their first neutral court victory of the year.
It was hard to believe that Kansas would play as poorly as they did offensively in New York. I mean, they lost to a terrific team in Oregon, but at the Rose Garden, but only putting up, what, 56 points against North Carolina. I couldn't believe they couldn't muster more offense than that.
Collison with a sweet touch. He has 6 points. 29-16 the Jayhawks. Less than 6.5 minutes to go in the half.
Nice job by Simeon to step out and stop that little drive by Tamir.
Bodied up on him, and you can tell they want to keep Tamir from shooting too much like that, and that's the reason.
Even when you push him off the lane, Amit Tamir has got the ability to hit difficult shots. For most big guys, getting them that far out is going to be death to their game.
Collison gets hit and makes the basket. He'll go to the line to look to complete that three-point play. 31-18 Kansas.
Well, that's early offense. That's getting the ball down after a made field goal and really punishing the other team for not getting back in transition and stopping somebody. The ball just goes right inside to Collison, who runs the floor and always seems to get great position. He's always down in a stance and controls his defender with his backside, moves him around. His ability to get position, he does his work early. That's what makes him a great player.
Well, he's also worked very hard on his foul shooting. Last year, Jay, just 57%. Langford getting a seat, resting the busted nose. He's actually played very well the last few minutes. But Collison up to 78% from the line.
And that just means more points for him because he continues to get to the free throw line. He's shot over 50 free throws on the season.
Simeon scraping the ceiling for that rebound. Man, can he get up. He's one of the great leapers in the game.
And it's been 1 and out for Cal. They have done 0 offensive rebounds.
He backs it out. Miles on the baseline. Tossed it off the hand of Ship. And they have 14 seconds to shoot, does Kansas. And that lead is ballooned to 32-18.
Ultimately, Kansas is going to wear teams down because they are so efficient. They work for good shots. They are very good rebounding. They're a good defensive team. Awfully difficult to try to stay with this team when they're playing well. And I really think they're going to play better and better as this season goes along. The only question, will their bench respond?
Miles with a floater. It's tipped to Simeon. He's there again for a hard-fought rebound. Which Kansas played awfully well last year. 33-4. Their overall record, advancing to the Final Four, losing to eventual national champion Maryland in a heck of a ball game. Heinrich up top. Found Simeon underneath. He bowled his way in, lost it, but he was fouled. and that'll be a shooting foul.
All right, how about the catch by Wayne Simeon? A terrific pass from Kirk Heinrich. Oftentimes, when you're in close quarters, a bounce pass is the way to get that ball through, but not all big guys can catch and finish when they get a pass like that. Wayne Simeon obviously can.
He has two.
4:57 to play now. During the break, Jay, you pointed out it's raining very hard outside right now here in Oakland. And some of that moisture has made its way down to the floor, hasn't it?
Especially right in front of the Kansas bench.
And it can make for a dangerous situation if it's not taken care of. But that's something that I know Roy Williams and his staff are keeping a close eye on right in front of their bench.
From time to time, we've seen them bring out the towels and wipe up a little of that rain. Some of it is getting down to the hardwood. Simeon converts. He has 5 points along with 4 rebounds. And so Jeff Graves will come into the ball game now. Big lineup. Collison and Simeon on the floor as well for Kansas. And they're at work trying to keep it as dry as they can. And the starting 5 for the Jayhawks been a story all year long. That's where they're getting their points. 9 points for Collison. Simeon 5. Miles is 7. Heinrich with 6. So they get excellent balance.
Really off the bench, their main producers as far as minutes are concerned have been Michael Lee and Jeff Graves. Brian Nash has not played as much over the last several games, even though he is the best athlete on this team from a run and jump standpoint.
Cal nearly lost to the shot clock down to 5. They're going to keep the basketball, but Diggs having a lot of trouble getting off anything close to a decent shot. He's hounded by Heinrich.
Watch out for an initial trap here to get the ball out of the hands of whoever catches it.
Weathers with a pull-up pop. Just barely hit the rim before the shot clock expired. Heinrich to push it. Got closed out of the lane. 4:10 to play in the first half. In the last 6 or 7 minutes, it's been all Kansas. Diggs with the steal.
Looked like a kick ball to me, but it didn't get called.
No whistle. They're shipped down the lane, and he can't get the layup. You know he was thinking about slamming it.
He was, and a terrific save by Aaron Miles.
That would have been a spectacular basket. They get nothing out of it, and it goes right back to the Jayhawks. Langford, no foul on Weathers there. Miles is free for 3 and is starting to really crush the Cal Golden Bears now, 36-18.
And that's a shot. If Aaron Miles can consistently hit those open looks throughout the season, Kansas is going to be that much better. When he has struggled and Kirk Heinrich has struggled, that's when Kansas has been vulnerable.
Midgley into the paint, tossed it up. It's an offensive foul, a wave off the basket. A charge against Midgley and the Cal Golden Bears, and right now nothing going right for Ben Braun and his team. Timeout, 3:18 left. Miles knocking down to 3, and the Jayhawks are hot.
Didn't have to sign up for anything.
I told him he didn't have to sign up. Just dial 1010-220. Push the buttons, man.
Thanks to Alf, I dialed 1010-220 right then and there.
Who'd you call?
That's really none of your business.
Well.
Dial 1010-220, then 1 and the number.
Sport utility rocket? Escape pod? Toyota Matrix. It's something else.
Hey, are you ready for an unbelievable experience? Yeah, you're going where there is no up or down. Introducing Mach 3 Turbo. Total comfort, whether you shave down or up. An anti-friction coating on all 3 blades. Plus a strip with more lubrication, so even against the grain, you get less irritation and the closest shave. Can your razor do this? Mach 3 Turbo from Gillette, the best a man can get.
The Mavs, the league's hottest team, led by high-scoring Dirk Nowitzki, take on Allen Iverson and the Sixers next Saturday at 1 Eastern. The NBA on ABC. We got hoops.
I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I have a talk show coming out on Super Bowl Sunday. I'm just trying to get a little practice here. You got a mackerel, huh? Oh, that's nice. Refresh my memory. You haven't been on the show, have you? You don't have a wet nap, do you? How do you respond to the critics who say you do nothing but block up traffic? The tabloids had said that you'd been spotted out canoodling.
Oh, my goodness.
I'd like to welcome our next guest. How'd it go in there?
Jimmy Kimmel Live, late night starting Super Bowl Sunday on ABC.
Cal looking to cut into this lead. Kansas ahead 36-18 with 3:18 to play in the half. New Year's Day, a huge day on ABC Sports. At 1 o'clock Eastern, Penn State battles Auburn in the Capital One Bowl. At 4:30, the Bowl Championship Series kicks off. Washington State against Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl game presented by PlayStation 2. And at 8:30 Eastern, Georgia faces Florida State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. It all kicks off at 11 a.m. Eastern with the Tournament of Roses Parade New Year's Day on ABC Sports. Miles with the basketball for the Jayhawks, and Collison gets it back out to the point guard. High up again, Langford tried to force it, got fouled. So he will go to the line. Diggs didn't think that he hit him. 36-18 Kansas.
Remember years ago when he was at the Los Angeles Lakers, Pat Riley said to his team, no rebounds, no rings.
Yes.
Well, right now for Cal, it's no rebounds, no chance. I mean, they have been badly out-rebounded by Kansas, and if they don't start rebounding the ball effectively soon, they're going to get run out of this building.
Well, the points keep on coming. Langford at the stripe. The guy who's a very superstitious athlete. He will oftentimes change shoes at halftime if he feels he has played a poor first 20 minutes.
And usually that's dependent upon shooting. If you don't shoot it well, I'll bet you Roy Williams has asked him from time to time, you know, if you're not guarding effectively, do you ever change your shoes?
No, I think you're right. I think it's all offensively generated. Oh, and a swat away by Langford.
Well, keep those shoes on, Keith. I like those shoes just the way they are.
They're working. Look at this.
Look at the rise on this. How about you have to go over Collison? When you do, number 5 sends it into the cheap seats.
My goodness.
Nice pass.
Samir to ship for a dunk. They haven't done enough of that, but that's pretty.
Well, you get the ball into Tamir's hands in the middle of the floor and cut to the basket. A good chance you're going to wind up with it.
Well, at the 9:04 mark of this first half, Kansas lead was only 3 points, 19-16. Underneath, once again, they get it to Simeon, and really, they don't have anybody who can handle it.
No, the high pick out top, and while that's going on, there's some interior screening, and the confusion off that interior screen was what got Simeon open off the drive.
Tamir's fadeaway, very sweet. Now, he's a man. He is 23 years old, and a guy who served 3 years in the Israeli military in the Army and played professionally as well in Israel. So he comes to Cal, a very mature player. 1 minute, 54 seconds to play in the half. And Tamir with a foul. Tamir, 6'11", sophomore. Not a lot has gone right for Ben Braun and his Cal Golden Bears. They're trying to push their way into the top 25. But Tamir is now heading to the bench with his third personal.
And with Cal so dependent on Ship, Tamir, and Weathers for scoring, Ben Braun doesn't often have the luxury to take out a star with 2 fouls like a lot of coaches do. That precipitated that third foul.
Coming up at the half, it's the Office Depot halftime report with John Saunders and Digger Phelps. We'll be talking about Pitino in Kentucky, Oklahoma against Mississippi State, and UConn on a roll. All coming up at halftime.
And how good is Mississippi State? Not only with Mario Austin, who is an outstanding interior player, but Rick Stansbury's gotten great play out of Derek Zimmerman, and Timmy Bowers, an outstanding shooter, Michael Ignerski. That's a complete basketball team, and they can really guard you.
Well, Kansas has really guarded Cal, held them to 22 points here in the first half. Cal has also turned it over 10 times. Langford around the screen by Collison.
And it seems like Kansas has had the labor to score in the half court, but they've done such a good job when they've been out in transition of getting scores, and they have been pretty efficient in the half court as well. Putting up 41 points at this point in the first half is awfully good.
And pretty close to what they're averaging if you look at that projected for the second half as well, averaging about 86 points a game.
Their work on the boards has been absolutely spectacular.
Miles was open from three-point distance and gave it away.
Just threw it down at his feet. That pass needed to be a couple of feet in front of Simeon for it to bounce up for him to catch it. Got away with one.
Yeah. A whistle, though.
Boy, that pressure really gets to you after a while. That's an awfully difficult pass to have to complete. That's why Roy Williams doesn't mind if you go backdoor. He wants you to do that because it's too tough of a pass to complete time after time.
Weathers in and out, trying to shoot over Heinrich. They get it back, though, and with 25 seconds to play in the half, they're going to back it out.
And how about that for the best shot that Cal could get on that possession? A challenge shot with Kirk Heinrich right in Weathers' mug.
Weathers held to 2 points. Now he's averaging about 17 a game. Diggs may have slipped on some of that moisture you were talking about. Weathers forces it up. Collison really all over him. And Collison wound up getting tripped in transition with 5.9 seconds left.
And that's not a foul that you want to commit so far away from the basket when a 6'10" guy is trying to bring it up in transition. That's where you put good pressure on the ball without fouling, because Nick Collison, as you mentioned, is doing a terrific job from the free throw line thus far in the season, shooting over 78% after shooting only 57 last year.
Collison, an alternate on the USA World Championship team.
In life, you might believe that you already have everything. Almost everything. Toyota Camry with electronic AC, audio CD player, power windows, and door locks for less than $20,000.
Let's say that this is your car. Now, if you do things like drive the speed limit and keep a safe distance from 18-wheelers and avoid accidents, Allstate could save you up to 20% off your auto insurance bill. That's 20% more money you'll have to put towards, say, I don't know, trip to Alaska. So, there you go. It's the Allstate Safe Driver Discount. Call for yourself and find out how the right hands make all the difference.
ABC Sports Championship Television presents the Bowl Championship Series. On New Year's Day, Washington State faces Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl game presented by PlayStation 2. Then Georgia takes on Florida State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. January 2nd, Heisman Trophy winner Carson Palmer leads USC against Iowa in the FedEx Orange Bowl. And on January 3rd, #1 Miami battles #2 Ohio State for the national championship in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. The BCS only on ABC Sports.
Announcing the final days of Chevy's year-end event.
It's your last chance.
Maybe we'll stick to what we do best. Now get 0% APR financing for 60 months on the 2003 Chevy Cavalier and S10. Plus $1,000 bonus cash. Or choose $3,000 total cash back on every 2003 Cavalier and S10.
We're so bad.
See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers today.
Go ahead. Open it.
Oh, my gosh.
The Lexus December to Remember sales event.
It's beautiful. Mom, open it.
You'll find incredible values whether you buy or lease.
We did it.
Go on. The December to Remember sales event.
Hey, what you got?
Missing it would definitely spoil the surprise.
Come on, let's go.
See your Chicago area Lexus dealer.
Bears Bucks, Sunday at 7 on ABC 7.
This is the Office Depot halftime report. Here now, John Saunders and Digger Phelps.
Kansas right now with an 18-point lead with the second half still to come. Cal's going to have to make a big run in this one. Now, elsewhere today, Kentucky against Louisville is always a great game because of the natural rivalry. Made even bigger this year because of the transfer of Marvin Stone, now appearing for Louisville, and Rick Pitino against his former assistant, Tubby Smith. And Marvin Stone goes to work early.
Right away. He can step out and shoot this. People forget that. They think he scores in the paint, but he's capable of going outside.
Stone will miss the free throw this time. Kentucky will get the ball and start the fast break. At the other end, Bogans will get the layup. And this is what they're looking for more of Keith Bogans. 20-9 was the lead at that point. In the second half, a 2-point game. Eric Brown with a 3. And then watch everyone stand around. No one's looking back towards the ball, and you get a turnover.
Absolutely. Lousy turnover. Quick transition score. Louisville on a big run going after the Cats.
Garcia with that hoop. And then it's 73-56. Ellis Miles on the break jams it down. Louisville wins this in a romp. The second largest margin of victory in the series over Kentucky. That by 22 in 1988. Louisville has won 6 straight games as well.
And Kentucky still can't shoot the threes. They go 3 for 18 today. That buried them. But the fact was this. Louisville's defense was tenacious in the second half, and 5 players in double figures for Rick Pitino. Big win for Louisville, getting ready for Conference USA.
Mississippi State against Oklahoma. Teams combining for just 1 loss this year. Derek Zimmerman on the perimeter. Nice little move. Fights his way in. Ties the game at 36 apiece. And then Price comes off the screen, nails a 3. Zimmerman then will find Bowers, who finds Mario Austin.
Mario Austin back in his lineup is an entirely different force inside for Mississippi State. 18 points, 18 rebounds.
And then Ontario Harper misses on the fast break, but Zimmerman follows. Nobody gets a body on him. He jams it down. And Mississippi State knocks off Oklahoma 54-45.
Credit Mississippi State's defense. A 12-minute stretch in the second half. Only 1 field goal for Oklahoma. Quantus White, Ebby Ara combined for 7 for 28. They couldn't score.
And for Mississippi State, their 5th straight win over a ranked opponent. UConn against Central Connecticut. And there is Jimmy Calhoun. And it was Ben Gordon doing most of the work in this contest.
Gordon had a big game. Just really come out, played hard. 24 big points. Of course, the big guy inside, Okafor, solid with his performance inside, outside. He ends up with 17 points, 11 rebounds. Just too much depth, too much strength. Talik Brown getting 8 assists in this game. I just think UConn right now is on a roll. They will get challenged, though, January 7th when they have to go out and play at Oklahoma. There's the big guy inside.
That hoop there. The body going over him. Keeps going the other way. Doesn't even feel him. 93-65. And Indiana and Temple right now are tied at 25 apiece. And Mike Davis is coaching that game against Temple. You know what happened in the game against Kentucky where he ran onto the floor, got a technical, got a second toss from the game. The Big Ten has suggested he should be suspended for 6 games. That seems a little harsh to me.
Really harsh, because when you get that second technical, you're out of that game. And they still had a chance to win with 2.6 seconds ago. I can see the fine. I can see a 1-game suspension. But to suspend them for 6 games, that's never happened to any coach. I don't know where that number came from.
What number would you suggest?
The 1 and done. Get them out. That's it. Give them a little fine, maybe $10.
In that's the case, you'd never be suspended. I don't think you ever were suspended. Probably should have been suspended. Maybe
I was close.
Time. Stick around. We'll come back with more in just a moment. As we mentioned, Mike Davis' squad tied with Temple at 25 apiece. Langford with the finish there. Kansas leads Cal 42-24.
Early in the morning when I wake up, I think, have I dreamt this whole thing? I get up and realize that JetBlue is serving tens of thousands of people on a daily basis.
We started 16 years ago with 2 people in 1 room. Our objective was to become the leading advertising and marketing services company in the world.
Growing up in the Detroit area, washing cars for $1.75 an hour was a great way to learn business from the ground up. Sun Microsystems is the best provider of network equipment for the world.
What I love about building a company is changing what's possible.
And trying to do something that has never been done before.
The way you succeed is by having a very clear vision and then executing that.
The day we went public was a huge birth of a new idea and a new company.
We knew we had to be a NASDAQ-listed company.
What NASDAQ gives you is a global name.
It gives us a platform, a stage on which to operate in every country of the world. WPP.
JetBlue.
Sun Microsystems, listed on NASDAQ.
It's an ABC Holiday Weekend Spectacular. Tonight at 8/7 Central, this is the outraged wife who threw her unemployed husband out of the house. Now he'll do anything to get back in.
Surprise!
Oscar winners Robin Williams and Sally Fields, plus Pierce Brosnan, Mrs. Doubtfire. Then tomorrow at 7/6 Central, winner of 5 Academy Awards, including Best Picture. Oscar winner Julie Andrews stars in The Sound of Music. Tomorrow at 7/6 Central after Mrs. Doubtfire, tonight at 8/7 Central on ABC.
How far would you go?
How can you do that?
To unlock mankind's most powerful secrets.
Nobody could have drawn this map.
And uncover the truth.
What is with you and all these secrets, Dad?
We take them out.
Who's after my father?
What the hell are you doing?
They're here.
This father and son will stop at nothing.
This
within a game, no matter what the cost. Veritas, The Quest, coming in January to ABC.
This is the Office Depot halftime report.
Welcome back. John Saunders alongside Digger Phelps. More college basketball in a moment, but first some news from the National Football League. The Eagles and the Giants. The Eagles have been tremendous. Didn't matter if Digger was the quarterback. Right now, this game has gone into overtime. The Giants, if they win, will clinch a playoff spot. If they lose, they still have a chance, but they need some help. They need the Saints to lose. Now back to college basketball. Texas Tech against Minnesota. Bobby Knight had his Red Raiders flying early on this season. Steve Esselink with a three-pointer, though, for Minnesota. They pulled it within 5. Then Minnesota's down by 3. Esselink at the line again, misses the free throw, but Knight won't be happy about this, Digger. Turned it over.
Can't give them that ball because guess who's open? Rick Rickard, and he hits the shot to tie it at 74. Now, Indiana's got 22 seconds to try to run an out-of-bounds play underneath. Goes overtime.
Goes to overtime, and Texas Tech, which is what I know you meant to say, not Indiana. Ross lays it in. Hey, you got to make that call once in a while. Whenever you're talking about Bob Knight, you're going to think Indiana, but they hold on actually right now, and looking at they're going to come off with a victory. It is now a final, and Texas Tech has won. And Marquette over Grambling, 105-74. Florida blows out Bethune-Cookman.
Well, Florida playing very, very well with their 2 freshmen combining for 51 points, and that's unbelievable to see that. Walsh is that good, but so is Roberson. So this is a very good win for Florida. The fact is now, as they get ready for the SEC, they're just going to creep up on people because they're a very good perimeter team that can score when they make the threes.
I know what you'll be doing on January the 1st, Digger. You'll be watching the Capital One Bowl. Penn State against Auburn. That's at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Then it's the Rose Bowl, presented by PlayStation 2. Washington, the 7th-ranked team in the nation, against Oklahoma, was never played in a Rose Bowl game. Then at 8:30, it's the Note to Sugar Bowl. Georgia against Florida State. Florida State with all kinds of problems at the quarterback position. It all begins at 11 a.m. Eastern time with the Tournament of Roses parade. Right now at halftime, it's all Kansas Jayhawks, 42-24, the lead over Cal.
This has been the Office Depot halftime report, brought to you by Office Depot. What you need to know. We'll be back with the second half after these messages and a word from our ABC stations.
Rugged, authentic, original. Now, the next big thing from Nissan, our national year-end event. 0.9% APR financing on the 2003 Nissan Xterra. So, what's next? Just the end date. 0.9% ends January 6th.
There was no reason why that ball should have gone through Buckner's legs. There's no reason why any of the runs before that should have been scored. There's no reason why the Mets should have even been in the World Series. No reason why they should have won 108 games. They were outmanned by the Red Sox. The Red Sox had the most dominating players in baseball. The numbers had almost become sublime. There are numbers that are actually bigger than baseball. Laws of probability that supersede the rules of statistics. Things that are even bigger than the curse of the Bambino. Things that say that if you call heads 100 times in 100 seasons, that one of those times is going to have to land heads.
Red Wings, Flyers, or other action. The NHL on ABC returns January 11th.
Paul Callan is looking for a sign. A large event is coming.
I'm waiting for you.
Why would God do this? Who said it was God? Miracles, coming in January to ABC. Viewer discretion advised.
It's our service, it's our range. It's our names and it won't change. That you can't do better, you can't do better than Bay.
After ho, 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 say no, no, no with 18 months, no interest, no payments, no deposit, and free delivery at all Bay locations. Hurry, no, no, no ends Monday.
Always got better at Bay.
It's not too late to get the gift you really want. The Unwrap a Jaguar holiday event has been extended through January 6th.
The Drury Lane Theater has the hottest subscription series in town. 4 Broadway shows for as low as $55. See the hilarious comedy Caught in the Net, the musical comedy Singing in the Rain, the jazzy musical Sweet and Hot, and Celebration on Ice, and stars concerts from Bobby Vinton to Patti Page at discounted prices. The Drury Lane Theater, 708-422-0404. Drury Lane tickets make great gifts. Call for a free color brochure.
The latest from Tom Hanks and Leonardo DiCaprio next, Ebert and Roper.
Welcome back to ABC NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber. And at halftime, Kansas with a 42-24 lead over Cal. This is the Pete Newell Challenge presented by Allstate. Dave O'Brien, Jay Billis with you. And Jay, without question, Kansas is doing what they want to do in transition. A lot of high percentage baskets. They're shooting 61% from the field.
And 61% awfully difficult to beat. But Kansas did almost everything right in that first half. They out-rebounded Cal by 9. They outscored them by 9 from the free throw line. And when that ball has gone up, it has belonged to the Jayhawks. Watch Nick Collison run in transition, putting a lot of pressure on the transition defense of Cal's big men to get back. And if you do not protect the ball, Kansas takes it away, and they efficiently run the floor and score easy baskets on the other end. You have got to be alert when you play against the Jayhawks. You turn your head one way, Aaron Miles comes from behind to take it away and take it the other way. 61% in that first half, and 40 of the 42 points from the Jayhawks scored by the starting 5.
And you see the rebounding margin. Kansas 19-10 over Cal. Collison and Simeon alone have out-rebounded the Golden Bears 14-10. And Shipp hasn't had a whole lot of help from his teammates. He did not in the first half. 14 points for Joe Shipp.
Yeah, that ship is sailing all by itself. Amit Tamir tried to help out, but Brian Weathers had an awfully difficult time being guarded by Kirk Heinrich. Only went 1 for 8 in that first half. Have to have a much more efficient second half offensively if Cal wants to get back in this.
Collison, his first touch, it rims out. And Shipp with the rebound. Neither side got much from the bench. Almost nothing in the first half. Kansas 2 points off the fine. The Golden Bears didn't get anything.
Well, for Kansas, when they go to their bench, they want their guys to take a Hippocratic oath. Do no harm when you come into the game. They just want to get through and have those guys play well, but they don't have to rely upon their bench for scoring.
Cal needs a hot start here in the second half. Trying to cut into that lead, and that's not the way to do it. A turnover, and Miles comes out of there with it.
3-on-2 break.
Heinrich pushed it up there. That's a charge. So Heinrich picks up the foul, and once again it's Tamir taking the contact.
Well, nice job by Tamir, especially with 3 fouls, to try to get in front of Heinrich and take that charge, but awfully difficult to get your feet set in transition like that. Smart move by Heinrich to press the action, try to create the contact and get to the line. He just didn't get the call.
There's Heinrich's second foul. One final today, incidentally, Michigan beating UCLA 81-76. So another loss for the Bruins.
Well, that's a big win for Tommy Amaker in his Michigan program with the threat of sanctions and the difficulty that program's been under. All those kids, the problems they are facing now, not of their making, and a great win.
Hughes follows the miss by Tamir underneath. So it's 42-26. In the second half, Heinrich with a 3. Got it. And that's the first 3-point basket that either side has made.
But that's as good as a layup for Kirk Heinrich. When he is in transition and gets his feet set, he is going to drill it. That's why you've got to find shooters in transition. And the pressure of the big guys running down the middle, that's what makes it difficult to get out and try and find shooters.
Heinrich, who hits 42% from the 3-point distance. Getting the first one here in the second half. Shipp to the line. Joe Shipp, Cal's top scorer at 19 points a game. He's an excellent foul shooter normally. 87.5 points a game, and quietly at 87.5% from the field. And quietly he has become one of the best scorers out west.
Well, the second leading scorer in the Pac-10 thus far in the season. The only guy that's outdueling him in the scoring column has been Marcus Moore of Washington State, who is a vastly underrated guard playing in the state of Washington.
Got airborne and threw it away. Shipp trying to beat Weathers, and it's tipped away by Kansas.
Well, Heinrich got back quickly to try to make up for that bad pass. He left his feet. You don't see him do that very often.
Good pass. Collison beating Simeon underneath. And the contact wrong. 18-11 to go in the ball game. Cal looking to cut into the lead.
When Kansas gets ball reversal to a big guy out top, you had better get some pressure or they are going to look down and pound it inside all game long. And even though Kansas, not a great three-point shooting team, you can see here comes the ball reversal. And look at Simeon wide open. That's a great delivery. Gabriel Hughes needs to get more pressure on the ball to discourage that pass. We saw Roy Williams just a second earlier. You look at his team from year to year. Sometimes they have better three-point shooting teams than others. This is not one of their best three-point shooting teams, but Kansas is going to get the ball inside first, and that's where their offense is going to start. And they are efficiently going to wear you down, get to the free throw line. It doesn't matter whether they hit those threes because they get so many good shots.
Diggs fouling Simeon in the paint, just picked up his third personal. Demir away from the basket, but not bashful about shooting it from there, despite his 6'11" size. Ship had a good first half. Hughes follows the miss.
Simeon came over to try to block a shot over the top of Langford. Nobody came down to box out. Sometimes a strength, shot blocking, can be a weakness if you go too often and leave those offensive boards exposed. You better get it if you go after it.
Collison on the drive, handles the ball very well, dishes off. Simeon was fouled on his way to the rack. 17:32 to go here. And following the game, stay tuned for the UBS Payne Weber post-game report. It's coming up when we finish up here at the arena in Oakland. Number 19, Kansas, taking on the Cal Golden Bears, who have a 6-1 record. Their only loss coming on December 7th to a very good Georgia team, and that was in overtime.
And that is a very good Georgia team. Jim Herrick, I know, really likes the makeup of that Bulldog team because they've got strong and athletic wings and one of the most underrated players in the country in Jarvis Hayes.
Ben Braun in his 7th year at Cal, trying to take the Golden Bears back to the NCAA tournament for the 3rd consecutive year. And he gets back his 3 top scorers from last year's tournament squad.
He has got a terrific recruiting class coming in next year, so there is even more help on the way in Berkeley. Leon Poe, the leader of that recruiting class, one of the best high school players in America.
Demir spinning. Heinrich got a hand on it. And Miles all by himself. So it's now a 51-29 lead, and it might be a timeout in Ben Braun's future. It's starting to sneak away even more, and it was 18 at halftime.
Aaron Miles has played a terrific basketball game. He had 10 points and 6 assists in that first half. He shot the ball well when he's had the opportunity from the perimeter. He struggled against the 4 best teams that Kansas played thus far, but his game is getting back into shape, and that makes Kansas a definite national title contender.
Getting up high for the block, Hughes. And that prevented a transition basket. Weathers converts on the other end. Will that jumpstart Cal? That sequence.
Well, Gabriel Hughes, and look at Langford going right back at him.
With a charge, though, an offensive foul, and Hughes took the contact.
Gabriel Hughes has really injected some enthusiasm into this Cal team. They were not enthusiastic before this block, and look at the long arm of the law come from out of nowhere to wipe that off the glass. And you can see on the other end taking it down, a nice little look behind by A.J. Diggs, and Weathers with the finish. That can get you going a little bit. When your scrum shot's not falling, get something easy in transition, something going to the basket.
Hughes, a big fella at 6'11". He's a junior out of Carson, California. The kind of play in the last few minutes that would excite one Pete Newell. This is the Pete Newell Challenge, and perhaps the greatest teacher of big men in years and years. We'll be talking with Pete here in the second half. And there's the coach, 51-31 Kansas.
Pete Newell, one of the few coaches in history that have won an NIT championship, an NCAA championship, and an Olympic gold medal, with arguably one of the finest Olympic teams put together before the Dream Team years when he had Jerry West and Oscar Robertson in 1960.
Yep, that was in Rome. Switch swings to Demir. And that's a three-pointer for the big fella. Another 6'11" big man, 53-34. He has 7 points.
That's what he does best, is shoot the 3. I was at the game last year when they played Oregon at Haas Pavilion, and Demir had 39 in that double overtime win.
Foul underneath. This will go the other way and give the ball over to the Golden Bears here with 15:26 to play in the second half. And we have a timeout on the court. It's Kansas and Cal, and we'll be back in just a moment.
X, buy it on DVD. From the director of The Fast and the Furious, Vin Diesel is... I live for this! X. Buy it Tuesday on DVD.
A #1 extra value meal with a Coke. Would you like to add on 2 pies for $1?
Yeah, thanks for hooking me up. Listen, man, don't tell anybody about this. Keep it on the down low.
Sir, anyone can add on for the dollar menu for just $1.
Whatever, dude. I got your back. This conversation never happened.
Got a buck? You're in luck. The McDonald's dollar menu. See something delicious, add it on for just $1.
Here's your extra value meal with the pies.
Original, authentic, powerful. Now, the next big thing from Nissan, our national year-end event. 0.9% APR financing on most new Nissans. So what's next? Just the end date. 0.9% ends January 6th.
I'm untouchable. Triple the action, triple the adrenaline, triple the special features. The most anticipated special edition DVD of the new year. X. Buy it Tuesday on special edition DVD.
NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber on ABC Sports. Brought to you by Nissan and your Nissan dealer.
ABC's NCAA basketball presented by UBS Payne Weber, and here's your score, 53-34. As we get a look at this week's Payne Weber Senior of the Week, Louisville point guard Reese Gaines selected for his contributions on and off the court. He donates his time for a program with the athletic department called Cards Care. Goes on hospital visits with his teammates. You look at his numbers on the court. Payne Weber will donate $1,000 to the Senior of the Week Scholarship Fund in the name of Cardinal senior Reese Gaines.
And he is one happy man right now, not just because he's the UBS Payne Weber Senior of the Week, but because his Cardinals in Freedom Hall today were able to down the University of Kentucky in one of the best non-conference rivalries in all of college basketball. That's a huge win for Rick Pitino and his program.
Here with a high post facing Collison. Midgley trying to muscle his way in. Nice follow there by Weathers, who tipped his own miss in.
And I believe that is the first offensive rebound basket for Cal in this ballgame. That is how long the drought has been and how difficult it's been for them to get a second look off this Kansas Jayhawk team.
And it came nearly 5 minutes into the second half. Miles.
Oh, what a pass.
Oh, to Collison for two.
And I think it was the threat of the shot. Aaron Miles has been looking for his shot in this ballgame that helped open that up, but also a great basket cut by Nick Collison. Boy, he's got great hands. When he catches it, he can finish in a fluid motion of a play.
Weathers gets a lot of iron, but he gets it to go. 55-39. He has 9 points, so they're starting to get some offense from Brian Weathers, the senior from Marietta, California. But Collison with those great hands.
Unbelievable hands. When he passes the ball, immediately as his man turns his head, he cuts right to the basket. The catch and the finish. Nick Collison, incredibly efficient as a basketball player. When you consider what he's done in his career, he's on pace to score 2,000 points, grab 1,000 rebounds. He's going to have over 200 assists and 200 blocks, 150 steals. What a player.
Tamir answering with a three-point basket. This 6'11" product from Jerusalem knocking down a three-pointer. And starting to bring this crowd alive here in Oakland. Let's see if Collison can quiet them. Gives off for Samir, but it's tipped away on the block. Simeon had it knocked right back.
If Cal can get a score here, it would do wonders for the enthusiasm level in this building. It's been a quiet crowd because Cal hasn't given the crowd much to cheer about.
We go to the senior ship, but he can't get it. He ties up Collison in a jump ball.
Boy, there was a lot of arm there on that rebound. Nick Collison grabbed the rebound, and the ball came in from behind. Take a look at Tamir facing up. And Collison not on him enough to discourage that shot. You can see going underneath the second effort. Now watch, there's an awful lot of arm on there. I think not a lot of ball. Nick Collison had that ball and should have been able to keep it. That was not a good call. These referees do a great job. That was one they missed.
Tamir with another three. He's made 2 in a row. And all of a sudden, here come the Golden Bears. They're back in the ball game.
We have got a 10-point game now, and that's an awfully quick shot. That is not the shot that Roy Williams wanted, and that is how you feed a run by your opponent, by taking quick shots. All of a sudden now Kansas is guarding again instead of making Cal guard.
Tamir calling for the ball, working on Collison. Bounce pass inside. Weathers for 2, and Kansas needs a timeout.
Now they'll call one since there was nothing in transition.
55-47. Cal on an 18-4 run. Tamir has built back-to-back threes. This is ABC Sports Championship Television.
Exhilarating, inspirational, stylish. Now, the next big thing from Nissan, our national year-end event. A nicely equipped Altima 2.5S at $18,999. So, what's next? Just the test drive.
Don't act like a swan. Be a swan.
I don't think I'm swan material. Sorry, kind of new at this.
That's okay. It's good to try new things.
That's what I tell people about 10-10-220.
I use that. All my calls up to 20 minutes are 99 cents.
I haven't signed up for that.
You don't have to. Just dial 10-10-220, then 1 and the number.
That's easy.
It sure is. I knew you could do it. Help. I think I'm stuck.
Dial 10-10-220.
Jeff Garcia and the Niners take on the upset-hungry Rams in a season-ending clash of division rivals.
Michael Van Madden to hit on Monday night.
Hi, I'm Jimmy Kimmel. I'm practicing for my new talk show. You been doing a little fishing today?
See?
Let's take a look at a clip. We'll have celebrity guests. We'll have comedy. Bueno. Musical guests. You're in a rock and roll band. I wouldn't have guessed that.
Jimmy Kimmel Live. Late night starting Super Bowl Sunday on ABC.
This is the city, Los Angeles, California. 25 million people. Some of them steal, some of them kill. My job is to stop them. My name's Friday.
From the creator of Law and Order.
Rape, torture, strangulation.
Do we have a serial killer on our hands?
His next victims will be kids. We gotta get this guy now.
Ed O'Neill and Ethan Embry. Dragnet, coming in February to ABC.
Ty. Naughty. Mario. Nice. Christina. Ooh, naughty. Sydney. Nice. Shania. Very nice.
Happy holidays from ABC Sports, home of the Stanley Cup Finals.
Well, this is starting to turn into a pretty good ball game. Kansas at one point had a 22-point lead. It's down to 55-47. Dave O'Brien along with Jay Billis, and delighted to have the legendary coach Pete Newell with us. I think you probably don't get tired about hearing that. 87 years old, but the legendary part you like.
That's right.
Well, it's terrific to have you here. The challenge now in its 6th year, and it's been tremendously successful.
And it really has been. And we're so proud of having Kansas here. You know, Kansas has probably more tradition than any other university in basketball. I mean, it goes back many, many years, and they have more Hall of Fame people than in any school. By far.
You know, and Coach, you've always been a great teacher. As a great pass against the 2-3 zone. They got the ball along the baseline and got it into Wayne Simeon. As a teacher, you have to admire the job that Roy Williams has done teaching this Kansas team. I've always thought if you don't like watching Kansas play, you just don't like basketball.
That's exactly right. And if you like basketball, you really enjoy watching them because they do so many fundamentally good things.
Coach, what is the difference? I've heard you say there's a difference between coaching and teaching. As a teacher of the game, what is the difference?
Well, there's a lot of difference, I believe. Coaching relates to, the team, the 5 men. And tactics and strategy and the organization of the offense and defense. Teaching is teaching the players the why of what you're doing and the fundamentals of the game and why you do this and why you don't do that. But
well, we've got 11:56 to play here in the second half. Delighted to be joined by Pete Newell, and we'll have more in a moment. NCAA basketball presented by UBS. Payne Weber will continue right after this.
Never pay interest. Plus no payments until 2004. Will anyone else ever offer a deal better than this? Never pay interest when you buy a new Mitsubishi. Plus make no payments until 2004. The fastest growing Japanese car company in America wants to grow faster than ever. It's the Mitsubishi year-end sales event. But hurry, this deal ends January 2nd.
Sweet cool. That's right, let's go. Young, smoke, black, street style, right?
At Amstel, we don't object to other light beers. They do serve some purpose. Always satisfying, never watered down. Amstel Light, the beer drinker's light beer.
No way. No way. It's not too late to get the gift you really want. The Unwrap a Jaguar holiday event has been extended through January 6th.
Unlike watery tasting light beer, Amstel Light makes your mouth water. Amstel Light, the beer drinker's light beer.
Happy holiday from everyone at ABC7. Yeah.
Well, Coach Braun has led his team to a 10-point deficit. They're down 22 at one point here in the Pete Newell Challenge. The big man camp entering its 25th year of existence. The camp beginning in 1976. And, Coach, you have tutored, among others, Ralph Sampson, all the way from Ralph Sampson to Shaquille O'Neal and many, many in between.
Yeah, there's not a lot. Over 300, I think, over those years we've had that most all of them, practically all of them in the NBA. Some of them played European basketball.
And you've saved a lot of careers with that camp by improving footwork. And talk about the importance of footwork in basketball, Coach.
Well, it's so important because you create space with your feet, and to be a good shooter, you have to have space.
Simeon gets some space, just a little, and he jams it down.
Yeah.
If you had to pick out of all the players that have been at your camp over the years, who had the best footwork in the ability to create shots and create space?
Oh, I think Kiki Vanderway, because he didn't have natural speed, natural quick feet, but he had the technique, and he just was able to create a shot just on his feet.
When you watch the game now, and you've got two terrific coaches in this ballgame and terrific teachers in Ben Braun and Roy Williams, who are some of the teachers of the game that you admire that are on the scene now?
Of course, Bobby is a great teacher, and Mike.
Bob Knight and Mike Krzyzewski.
Yeah, sure, they're both fine teachers. And of course, you said Roy and the older coaches aren't exposed so much to teaching because the game has changed. And at the high school level particularly.
Does it worry you that the big man seems to be, I don't want to say legislated out of the game, but there aren't as many quality big men in the NBA. You don't see big men being as used as often in college. This Kansas team is an exception to that rule. But does that bother you at all?
Bothers me a lot because, from 1959 to 1980 in the NBA, you had 21 MVPs, 20 of them were centers. And now we have and they're all born in this country. They weren't, foreign centers. Today, we have one center, Shaquille. American center that, you know, you can put in that category.
Well, it was a good qualifier because a lot of people are looking at Yao Ming now and saying, well, now there are two true centers with that kind of footwork, and his ability to pass the ball is pretty good. That one rolls out, tipped into the corner. 10:26 to play in the ball game. 61-47 Kansas.
Boy, what a difference in Cal's aggressiveness level over the last 10 minutes of this ball game. They've really started to attack the defense more instead of backing up. I thought they got pushed out too far on the floor in that first half and weren't attacking as much.
Corner. No, it's not there for underneath Midgley. That's a charge, an offensive foul. That'll bring the fans to their feet here in Oakland. All over the referees. Very much a partisan crowd here in Northern California.
I'll tell you, Dave, when you take a look at this replay, you can see inside when Midgley gets that ball, just outside of that NBA line was Aaron Miles. And it's awfully difficult to draw a charge right under the basket, but Miles did a nice job of getting his body in front of Midgley. I'm sure that's a call, though, that you'd like to see let go oftentimes that close to the basket.
Just inside 10 minutes remaining. The lead had dwindled down for Kansas. It was as high as 22 points. Miles off the Langford. Shot clock was down to 8. There for him. Well, we're delighted to be here in Northern California for what has become a terrific event. The Pete Newell Challenge now in his 6th year. And a marvelous game coming up. Stanford and Gonzaga.
That's going to be a real good game.
What do you like in that one?
You know, Gonzaga's more experienced, and Gonzaga's a real good team. But Stanford is going to be, as the season goes on, they're going to get better and better. And they got some good young talent on that team. They're going to be tough.
Coach, thanks so much for joining us. It's been a treat. I saw Jay Billis's eyes light up when you came over, but so did Kansas's. Then they went on a 6-0 run. We're going to let you go sit down and cheer Cal back on here.
Well, thank you. I enjoyed it.
Thanks so much. 9:11 to play here in the second half. The great Pete Newell, one of the legendary coaching minds in the game. 63-47 Kansas, and that run is now 8-0 for the Jayhawks. So Ben Braun trying to do what he can to stop that. And look at some of the coaches who have come and brought their teams in the 6 years of the tournament for the Pete Newell Challenge. John Chaney, Bobby Knight, Jim Herrick at Georgia with his marvelous team. Coach K, as he was talking about, Mike Krzyzewski, and now Roy Williams.
Nothing but a bunch of Hall of Famers, Dave. How about all those Pikers on that list? Can you believe it?
Roy Williams trying to win for the 395th time in his career at Kansas.
What a record he's put together at Kansas. You know, I often, I don't mind saying this, I often get tired of listening to people moan about the fact that Roy Williams has yet to win a national championship. The man has won over 80% of his games. He is one of the finest coaches in the history of this game. And the fact that he has yet to win one, I think that he will. But when he does, I think his accomplishments will be celebrated instead of, you know, people starting to pick at his accomplishments over the years.
The three-pointer by Midgley makes it a 13-point deficit for Cal.
It's awfully difficult when you're trying to come back from such a large deficit. When you do get it under single digits, sometimes there's a little bit of a letdown because it takes so much of your energy away to work on that lead. And Kansas was able to answer and spread this lead out a little bit and trying to spread it out to 15 now.
Allison, a high post setting a screen for Heinrich. Lee, a three-pointer, a line driver, but he got it. 66-50. Neither one of these teams shot very well from beyond the three-point arc in the first half. They were just 1 for 5.
And Michael Lee starting to play better and better, looking like he's a guy that can bring some quality minutes off that bench.
Richard Midgley, who is out of Burgess Hill, England, giving him about 9 points a game. Now has 5 in this contest.
And a tough kid, Midgley. He can knock down threes. He's a good defender and a very good passer.
Heinrich's three gets that lead up to 69-52.
There's just nobody better. No shooting guard in America is better than Kirk Heinrich right now. There's just nobody. When he gets his feet set, he is going to knock that shot down, and he is a terrific off-the-ball defender.
You like him better than Steph of Gonzaga?
Well, I mean, you know, you're picking between a Ferrari and a Maserati there, but yeah, I do. I really do believe that he has the complete package, Kirk Heinrich.
For Jayhawks now in double figures. Coming into the game, they had 4 starters averaging 16 points per game and better. Shot clock was down to 2, and the tie-up on the floor.
How about Keith Langford getting on the floor, broken nose and all, not afraid to put that nose into that pile.
Heinrich from downtown starting to bury those threes, and Kansas has a healthy lead again.
Ladies and gentlemen, on January 17th, one security guard.
I'm a virtual one-man full SWAT team. I got skills.
Is copping an attitude.
What the problem is? What the problem is? What the problem is? What the problem is?
Martin Lawrence.
You're insane! And you're resisting arrest.
National security.
Do you actually believe the crap that comes out of your mouth?
Well, I'm never really sure. Well, I'm finished talking.
Rated PG-13. In theaters January 17th.
Never pay interest. Plus no payments until 2004. Will anyone else ever offer a deal better than this? Never pay interest when you buy a new Mitsubishi. Plus make no payments until 2004. The fastest growing Japanese car company in America wants to grow faster than ever. It's the Mitsubishi year-end sales event. But hurry, this deal ends January 2nd.
Homer, yes.
Nice.
Yes,
Nice.
yes.
It only bounced twice.
No, I cured it. So what? It's a home run.
No,
Yeah,
it's a double.
No, it didn't even hit the back of the shell.
It bounces twice, it's a double.
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about rules. Doesn't hit
Those
back,
aren't the rules. You're
it's a
talking
double.
about making up the rules.
No,
okay?
I'm talking about, look, I play with shoes, you don't.
So
That's
what?
a rule.
I have a medical condition.
This is why no one wants to play with you. Why? Because I'm right and
Spoils
and I'm better at it.
Take a nap.
Well, Cal went on a 14-5 run to cut the Kansas lead to 8, but Kansas has answered with an 18-4 run of their own.
Well, this Kansas team awfully powerful. When they can get the ball inside, they rebound the ball effectively, they get to the free throw line. You're going to have to play awfully well in order to beat the Jayhawks. And one of the reasons they are playing so well has been not only the inside play of Wayne Simeon and Nick Collison, but the guards have played extraordinarily well, especially Kirk Heinrich and Aaron Miles. Aaron Miles has played perhaps his best game of the season thus far.
Heinrich with 12 points. The last couple of baskets from beyond the three-point arc. Points in the paint solidly in the Jayhawks' favor. Both teams advancing to the NCAA tournament last year, which Kansas went just about as deep as you can go to the Final Four. And Cal wound up losing in the second round to Pittsburgh. Heinrich got inside that time.
Deceptively athletic and quick, really moves north-south extremely well. And with his ability to shoot the ball, that can set up his drive. Great in transition. Outstanding defensively. There's nothing this kid can't do.
14 for Heinrich. And we were talking a lot about big men as Mitchell knocks down a 3. We were talking about big people with Pete Newell. But he's very fond of Heinrich. He raved about him during our commercial break.
Oh, there's no question. I think from a footwork standpoint, it's a pleasure to watch Kirk Heinrich play. We've talked about the fact that Nick Collison played for his dad. Well, Kirk Heinrich did as well. He's been well coached, not only growing up, but in college as well. And he will be a high pick in the NBA draft. He has stayed to be a senior, and I think he will be rewarded, as will Collison. Both of them will have 10 years plus in the league.
Weathers backed in, but missed it from short range. 71-55, Kansas looking to move up in the rankings from the number 19 spot. It's tipped out of bounds and will go over to California.
And Kansas will move up in the rankings. There's no question about it. That 19 is just something to look at right now, and a direct result of the fact that they've lost some games that they were too good to lose. There's no question in my mind that this is a better team than North Carolina. I think that ultimately they are better than Florida, but you got to prove it out in the court, and that's what makes basketball great. They've got the NCAA tournament at the end to decide the national champion. Nobody votes on it.
The 6'11" Tamir once again with a three-point basket, and his range goes way beyond the three-point arc. Now 16 points. This looks like it might be a cramp. 5:37 to play.
That's exactly what it is. Joe Shipp cramping up in that right leg, getting over to the sideline. And you're right about Tamir. His range really extends beyond that college three-point line. And you've got to make him put the ball on the floor where he's less offensive.
Look at Collison move it over to the left hand and take the foul. That's just beautiful.
And he's so good with angles. And he can control the defender as the defender tries to move out on the baseline side. It was Tamir
You can see that Collison is able to use his body to shield off and get an angle to the basket. And then instead of using the right hand, which would expose it to being blocked, he puts it in the left, scores, gets fouled, and now can complete the three-point play.
Nick Collison get another double-double today.
And you know, Dave, we spend so much time because they're new faces talking about freshmen, but sometimes we tend to overlook the great seniors and juniors there are in America. Kirk Heinrich and Nick Collison, two of the very best.
A pair of All-Americans, Joe Shipp, the senior for Cal, and their star, averaging 19 a game, suffering some cramps at this point. Well, Capital One Bowl Week continues tonight on ESPN at 8 Eastern. Two of the top running backs in the nation lead their teams in the 10th annual Alamo Bowl presented by MasterCard. Chris Brown and the Colorado Buffaloes meet Anthony Davis and the Wisconsin Badgers at the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. That's tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN.
Anthony Davis racking up some yards in the Big Ten this year, but remember the other Anthony Davis used to play for the University of Southern California, student body right.
And over and over and over again they went student body right.
Never forget that game he had against Notre Dame when the Trojans came out in the second half and were just unstoppable thanks to Davis returning kicks and taking the ball up and down the field.
And we talked about Joe Shipp and what he means to Cal. He had 14 points in the first half. He's been held to 1 point in the second half, and we'll see if he can return for the last 5 minutes.
Shipp not as prolific in the second half scoring, but Amit Tamir really stepped up his offensive performance. Tamir only had 4 points in that first half, but much more aggressive in looking for his shot this second half. Perhaps the foul trouble when he picked up the second foul and then the third just before halftime held him down a little bit in that first half.
My sense is the Kansas defense had a tad to do with it as well.
I think you're right. The second player, by the way, from Israel to play for Cal, Shahar Gordon, who's a center, played for Ben Braun 2 years ago at Berkeley. 18 points for the big fella Tamir. Hughes comes in for him, but you're also talking about 4 fouls for Amit Tamir.
Well, with 5:15 left, you can't worry about fouls. You got to get a little bit of rest while you can, then come back in and play with everything you've got, because it's not time to worry about how long you're on the floor. You got to get something done while you're out there.
A 14-point lead for the Jayhawks. Again, playing with a broken nose, suffered yesterday in practice.
The box set here by Kansas, they do a good job of running this. Lines up into a little 1-4.
The clock is at 8. Mr. Miles sees it. Heinrich does well.
Great pass.
Simeon with the shot clock at 3, dunks it in.
Boy, how about that? Heinrich setting the screen for Simeon to screen him into the low post, and then getting a screen for the screener up top, and then looking immediately for the dump down. That's great basketball.
Ridgely into the paint. Boy, he's tough. He goes right in there amongst the trees, but he couldn't convert. Going to run. Simeon. No walk. Got held up in the air. Out of bounds. Going to go the other way. And tie up there. Ridgely with an elbow.
Take a look at Heinrich here, setting the screen for Simeon, then he will get a screen. That's a screen for the screener. He curls it and immediately looks down low. That's a great pass and delivery to the wide open Wayne Simeon. You know, there's so much action going on, so much screening, that Cal is having to communicate. Ultimately, there was a breakdown, and when your defense breaks down, a senior like Kirk Heinrich makes you pay.
Diggs went inside. There was a foul as Hughes had a hand on him. 4:04 to play in the contest.
We talked about Kansas and their efficiency in their running game. When they get out on their initial break, they put so much pressure on your transition defense. Their secondary break is second to none. I think Kansas does the best job in America of running their transition game. But when they are in the half court, they today have run their half court sets really well.
I think everybody understands the essence of the fast break. You mentioned secondary break. For those tuning in, they have no idea what you're talking about. What is that?
Well, a secondary break is something that you do when the initial break isn't there. When you don't get that 3-on-2, 2-on-1 layup, and you run some early offense, whether it's ball screens, the wing back pick that Kansas likes to run. You get some throwbacks, some drag screening. It's really the early offense that you don't get if you don't have an initial basket. And Kansas does as good a job as anyone in America that's ever done it. I mean, it all came really from Dean Smith and the Carolina secondary break. And
Kansas has done an extraordinary job under Roy Williams of running their secondary break. Last year scored maybe almost 70% of their points off their secondary break. It's that difficult to stop.
8 at 18. Weathers with a carried shot. Simeon with the rebound. Kansas once again has all 5 starters into double figures. That's where about 90% of the Jayhawk offense comes from. They're only getting about 12 points a game from the bench.
And there was an example of Kansas' secondary break. They didn't have anything going to the basket, so they moved the ball from side to side. A little wing back screen from Heinrich, but a foul was called.
It's the 6th annual Pete Newell Challenge. Kansas up by 18 in Oakland.
Never pay interest. Plus no payments until 2004. Will anyone else ever offer a deal better than this? Never pay interest when you buy a new Mitsubishi. Plus make no payments until 2004. The fastest growing Japanese car company in America wants to grow faster than ever. It's the Mitsubishi year-end sales event. But hurry, this deal ends January 2nd.
Let's say this is you, and this is your auto insurance company. You've always gotten along okay, but let's say this is Allstate. Ooh, looks better than what you got now, huh? Well, qualified drivers who call Allstate for a free auto quote can get a company this good for this kind of price, maybe less. The choice is pretty simple, don't you think? So call Allstate to see what you can save. Just one more way that right hands make all the difference.
Bring in the new year with a college football celebration on ABC. Penn State faces Auburn in the Capital One Bowl. Washington State takes on Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl game presented by PlayStation 2. And Georgia meets Florida State in the No-Kiss Sugar Bowl. New Year's Day starting at 11 a.m. Eastern with the Tournament of Roses parade.
Coming in January.
I am the Mo.
I am the Mo. 7 celebrities in Hawaii. If they work together and perform wild and crazy stunts, they win the game.
I could be the Mo. I'm always small.
But one of these celebrities is out to wreck the others.
Oh, my God.
And not one of them knows who is the mole. Celebrity Mole Hawaii. The treachery begins January 8th after the premiere of The Bachelorette on ABC.
John Saunders with the Speed Pass update. Indiana against Temple. And Keith Butler is going to get the ball and just come up with a little jump hook right there as he turns in the middle as Temple increases their lead. And right now they are up by 7, 52-45, trying to upset number 11 Indiana.
John, thank you very much. Here's 78-60. Kansas with an 18-point lead. Aaron Miles has had himself a field day with 16 points. Look at those field goals, 7 out of 10. And 11 assists, Jay.
And he's been so confident stepping up to take his perimeter shot. He's always good with the ball. He's had 4 steals in addition to the 16 points and 11 assists.
Kansas shooting 64% in the field. Bobby Leonard able to knock down a 3-point basket to make it 78-63. But just not enough time, it would appear, for the Cal Golden Bears today.
Right now, Kansas going to spread the floor and try to run some clock. Make Cal guard them out on the floor. Not take anything quick. Just call a set when they get it down to about 12 seconds, and here it is. Up top, they're running fist, which is a high screen. Here it comes.
Simeon setting it. Heinrich bounces for Collison.
Oh, what a pass.
Langford there. That's just gorgeous.
Well, you have such good big men. When the ball goes inside there, collapses the defense, everybody dumps down to try to get it out of their hands. And a terrific basket cut and read by Keith Langford. Tell you what, if that's the way you play with a broken nose, there are going to be some coaches wanting to break their players' noses all over America.
Well, I don't know if we're going to advocate that today so close to the holidays, Jay Billis, but it's worked for Langford, no question.
Well, he's a tough kid. This is a terrific win for Kansas against a good Cal team.
17-point lead once again. Kansas came in averaging just under 87 points a game, and that's where they're going to finish today, very close to that. They did what they wanted to do in their transition game, and at secondary break, they run better than anybody. Miles trying to get it inside to Collison, who's had another double-double. So has Simeon. Really a big problem for Cal today, too, is their inability to get to the foul line, Jay. They have shot just 4 free throws all day.
Off the high screen, look at that great pass into Collison, and Collison with an even better pass to the cutting Langford. Look how he turns and is able to just dump that ball off because he keeps good vision. Instead of making a quick move without knowing what he's doing, Nick Collison turns and looks before he makes a decision as to what he's going to do.
I noticed Langford is wearing the same shoes he wore in the first half, so he must have shot the ball just fine. Collison coming out, now mass substitutions as Langford marches off the floor in those shoes. And Roy Williams is going to get in Moulin among others as he empties his bench here in the last minute 15.
Jeff Hawkins coming into the game as well. Brian Nash, Jeff Graves, and Moulin is a young freshman who's got terrific footwork, has the chance to be a really good defender, long arms, just needs more time.
Ship gets the roll, but he is back in the game after fighting off the cramps. Less than a minute to go. Nian, a fascinating story. He really hasn't played that much basketball. Played a lot more soccer growing up in Senegal in West Africa.
That'll improve your footwork.
Yes.
Well, both these teams have challenging schedules coming up after this. Kansas is going to have 3 games inside of about 5 or 6 days, and California has to play USF, then they have Stanford, Oregon, and Oregon State. So it doesn't get any easier for either one of these ball clubs.
And Kansas has already played teams like North Carolina, Florida, Oregon. And so they look ready for a tough conference schedule. So inside the last 15 seconds here in Oakland, Kansas will roll to 7-3 on the year, and the Cal Golden Bears will drop to 6-2. Here in the Pete Newell Challenge. It, of course, having coached here at Cal, took them to a national championship in 1959.
Almost had back-to-back in 1960, but they lost to Ohio State, led by John Havlicek, Jerry Lucas, and a pretty good
sub off the bench named Bob Knight.
Joe Shipp again having some cramping problems.
7.1 seconds remaining here. Kansas beating a very good opponent here in the Cal Golden Bears and doing it just about their home floor here in Oakland in Northern California. To 67. And so that will do it here from the arena in Oakland. And for Jay Billis, I'm Dave O'Brien. Thanks for joining us so much today here on ABC as Roy Williams and Ben Braun say their congratulations. Our UBS Kane Weber postgame report is coming your way next. And your final score, once again, Kansas 80 and Cal 67. Happy holidays, everyone. Right now, we throw it back to the studio and John and Digger. Gentlemen.
All right, Dave, thanks a lot. So Kansas comes back now. They've won 4 consecutive games. Jay Bellis talked about it during the game, that Kansas is a better team than the teams they have lost to this year. Have you ever been in that position where your team is underachieving maybe for a week and a half and you get it going again?
Yeah, I can bring up a lot of history, but not really. I think this. I just think right now Roy Williams knows those 3 losses early, even at Oregon, get your team ready. They've got too much experience. We forget last year in December when Maryland got pounded about this time of the year at Oklahoma. They still regroup, come back, and win a national title. This Kansas team is very solid. I think what they're not used to is to have 5 guys only come out and play 32, 34 minutes when they've had some depth. I think now that when you look at Simeon and Callison establish the inside game where teams double down, boom, you got to kick it out, they shoot the threes.
So the Jayhawks now have won 4 consecutive games after that hiccup. They're now 7-3 on the season. Let's return and rejoin Dave O'Brien.
Thanks, John, with head coach Roy Williams. Roy, how did you feel your team played in this ballgame? Because I thought it was as good a performance they put up all year.
We played very well. They had a great stretch there. They made 4 threes or 3 threes in one stretch, and we weren't making good decisions. Nick missed a layup. Kirk charged. Keith charged. Keith got a shot blocked. and that's when they're making threes on the other. But I really loved at that point after we called a timeout, our team really played well the last 6 or 8 minutes.
You know, you got a double-double out of Aaron Miles with 16 points, 11 assists. I think he had 4 steals in that ball game. I thought it was as well as he's played all year. How about you?
You know, he didn't have a good game against Oregon, but since that time, he's really played well for us. Today may have been his best game.
You know, we've talked so much, the talking heads like me, about, you know, Kansas and their great starting 5, but do they have the depth? Is that something that concerns you on a day-to-day basis?
It does every single day. We didn't know until warm-ups whether Keith Langford was going to play or not because he broke his nose yesterday in practice. I thought he was pretty exceptional considering what he took yesterday.
Well, how do you do that? How do you do that? How do you deal with depth? Is it something you try to get your players into games, or is it something they have to work on every day in practice?
Jay, I think it's a little bit of both. I'm going to give them opportunities. You got to produce when you get in there. But Michael Lee got the extra time by what he did in practice.
From one great teacher to another, how important is this to you to play in the Pete Newell Challenge?
Well, it's really important. Coach Newell is one of my heroes. I've loved everything, every tape I've ever gotten. I try to learn some, and he's one of the finest gentlemen in the world, too.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a great win.
Thanks, Jay.
John, from one coach here to another one in Digger Phelps, I'll send it back to you.
And Jay will let you decide which one is headed to the Hall of Fame and everything. And by the way, Jay, I do know the difference between him and Dave O'Brien on that toss there. But again, put yourself in Roy Williams' situation. What do you have to do as a coach to say, I know my team is better than they're playing right now. Do I need to look inside and change something?
No, I don't think he changes anything. What he does is get confidence going back, starting with your defense. And when they defend and rebound, they start their transition game. But when you're not running that transition game, pound it inside at half court. And that's what he's done the last 2 weeks. And when you get Callison and Nick Callison as well as Wayne Simeon scoring inside, John, now you've got to defend and double down. And that creates the perimeter game for Heinrich, as we saw with Aaron Miles today, as well as Keith Langford. And that, to me, gives them the balance they need for a half-court offense when they're not running. But this is a solid team that, look out, they're not done. And the Big 12 is going to give them a great challenge. Get ready for the NCAA tournament.
By the way, you're not in the Hall of Fame, but you helped put a lot of other coaches there.
Yeah, I kind of remember that.
We're going to keep a special wing for you. Stick around. When we come back around, we'll look at scores and the highlights from around the country. Very busy day, including a top 15 team on its way down on the UBS Payne Weber post-game report.
Never pay interest. Plus no payments until 2004. Will anyone else ever offer a deal better than this? Never pay interest when you buy a new Mitsubishi. Plus make no payments until 2004. The fastest growing Japanese car company in America wants to grow faster than ever. It's the Mitsubishi year-end sales event. But hurry, this deal ends January 2nd.
They call this art?
I'll tell you what I call it, brother.
It symbolizes my frustration of committing to a phone plan I don't always need.
You should be down at 10-10-220, little dude.
Yeah, it's a great phone service with no monthly commitment.
With 10-10-220, all calls up to 20 minutes or 99 cents.
It's cheap, whether you use it a little or a lot.
That is a great deal.
Now, this speaks to me.
It says cheap.
Dial 10-10-220.
Brother.
This is the UBS Payne Weber postgame report. Here now, John Saunders and Digger Phelps.
Welcome back. Kansas has won for the 4th consecutive time. Looks like they have things going again. And speaking of going, Kentucky or Louisville, whichever team loses that game, the other team is going to feel very bad for the rest of the season. It doesn't matter what the records are, doesn't matter what the rankings are. This time coming around, Kentucky ranked number 14. But Rick Pitino against the team he coached to a national championship. Marvin Stone has changed uniforms.
Right out of the box, he hits a big jumper, top of the circle, and he scores in the paint.
Stone again at the free throw line, but this time he doesn't come up with it, so his former teammates rush it the other way, and Keith Bogans will finish flying in. 20-9, Kentucky has the lead. But it's just a 2-point Kentucky lead when Eric Brown knocks down this shot. Louisville then will steal the inbounds pass as they fall asleep.
Goes to the full court pressure, and they come away with a quick, easy steal, leads to another 2 points, and transition puts them up 38-35. Now they're on a run.
Garcia with that one, then Ellis Miles on the break. All alone, jams it in, and Louisville comes back and knocks off Kentucky 81-63. The second largest margin of victory over Kentucky had been 22 in 1988.
Credit Pitino's defense in the second half. They really got aggressive, and 5 guys end up in double figures. That's great balance, but having Marvin Stone back in that lineup, look at the difference now when you look at rebounding with a big guy in the paint. Very solid performance compared from the first half, where they're negative, to +9 the second half. They just beat them up inside with points in the paint.
So obviously for Louisville, a very satisfying win, especially for Rick Pitino against the team he coached to a title.
You know, you're all going to say, well, he's holding it in, and he really, but I'm telling you the truth. I love beating Kentucky as much as I love beating anybody else. And it's not, I think Tubby Smith, I made a line, and I didn't mean to say it that way. I said, if you don't like Tubby Smith, it's un-American. And I really mean, he's one of the finest people, one of the finest coaches that I've come across. So he's a dear friend, and our job is to try and beat him that night. And this is the type of rivalry that I like. I don't like bitterness. Don't care for it. I like a good rivalry. We have it, and it was a great basketball game because we won it. It would have been terrible if we lost it.
By the way, I agree with him. It is un-American if you don't like Tubby Smith, because he is one of the finest individuals in all of coaching. But to turn it on the other guy, Rick Pitino has been a winner everywhere he has gone, with the exception, of course, of the Boston Celtics and that little stumble there. But he won a national championship at Kentucky, got to a Final Four at Providence. How far can he get with Louisville?
Well, what's amazing about this college basketball season, anybody's going to be hot when it counts. Now, the fact that he's a great teacher and get a guy like Marvin Stone and groove him the way he wants to, that was very important. Stone has had 3 straight games where he's been in double figures. That gives him that, I think, the solid performance inside, because Stone can also step out and shoot. Now the perimeter game is there, and his pressing defense is there. When you look at Conference USA, you're looking at Marquette as a team to beat. Well, now Pitino knows, and his kids know, because he's a great motivator, as he was in that second half, and come back and just blow out Kentucky. Wow, I'm impressed with what he's done with his team. They're going to be one of those teams that you don't want to play in the first round or the second round of the NCAA tournament, John.
It's only December, and we're talking about those teams.
Well, you see, how far can they go?
You can keep looking ahead. Mississippi State against Oklahoma. Both teams with a loss coming into this game. Oklahoma at number 5. And this is a team that's capable of getting to the Final Four, as we've talked about. And, okay, it's December. It's not too early to talk about that. Derek Zimmerman beats the defender and lays this one in. The game is tied at 36 apiece. Then Price, the 3 hits at 48-43. Then Mario Austin goes to work.
Put him inside. He's the best player in the SEC in the paint. He gets 18 points, 8 rebounds. You can't stop him alone one-on-one.
6-point game, and Ontario Harper misses on the break. But Zimmerman is there to follow on the dunk. Nobody gets a body on him. And Mississippi State has won their 5th straight against a ranked opponent. 3-0 all-time against Kentucky now. 22-3 in their last 25 non-conference games.
Credit Mississippi State's defense. During a 12-minute stretch in that second half, Oklahoma had 1 field goal. And for the game, Quantas White goes 3 for 12. Ebi Ara goes 4 for 16. Hey, that's 7 for 28. Oklahoma can't score points. That's why they're stuck at 45.
Now, keep in mind that Oklahoma, both their losses are coming against ranked opponents on neutral courts this year. George Mason against Pitt. Digger, when we were doing the Jimmy V Classic, you had a couple people from Pitt come over and say you don't give this team enough respect. I think without question you give this team enough respect.
Give them enough respect, but understand this Tuesday night, the 31st, it's New Year's Eve. They're playing Georgia at Georgia, and watch out. That could be the first time they go down before they have that matchup on Big Monday against Notre Dame at home in the Big East.
Pitt's best start in 15 years as well. What are some of the teams that are gotten off to very quick starts who need to be concerned? Pitt, you just pointed that one out there.
Well, when you look at Alabama, I'm waiting for Alabama to get challenged. They've beaten teams, but not by much, teams like Bowling Green. And when you look at what happens with their record, I just think that they've got to win on the road. Last year, they were 4-4 on the road in the conference. That'll be a test. Pittsburgh going to Georgia, then Notre Dame. Oregon, we were not impressed with the way they played against Cincinnati, who goes down and loses when they play at Clemson on the road. Notre Dame is off to a great start, having wins over Marquette, Maryland, and Texas. Their first challenge will come when they go to Pittsburgh on the 6th, and UConn. I think they got to go out there to play against January 7th against Oklahoma. A tough game for them. But when I look at Creighton, that 9-0 is legit. This team is a team, as we look at teams like, well, who's going to be this year's Gonzaga all year long? Creighton, to me, is a very solid basketball team, and that's Notre Dame's only loss. So this team, to me, is very legit. But these other teams are going to hem and haw and get around with schedules that you don't know who they're playing or why because of the strength of their schedule. But remember last year, John, we saw Virginia and Syracuse by the middle of January, climb into the top 10 and then play themselves out into the NIT. It's going to happen to somebody again this year because there's just too much balance when we look around the country.
Don't you think, though, across the board, schedules are more legit now than, say, 10 or 15 years ago when everyone played an awful schedule at the start?
We've seen that in November and December early, where you look at teams playing each other and why they play, and you look at Kansas, and all of a sudden they lose 2 games in Madison Square Garden to North Carolina, and you're going like, wow, what's this all about? And then lose to Florida, and that's a consolation game. No, it doesn't matter. Because even when they went out to Oregon and got punished, Roy Williams will not let these experienced players and the players themselves say, all right, we can regroup and get it done. And I said that earlier today when we said, you know, Kansas at one point, back in 1988, their program, they go 12-8 and go on with Danny Manning and Larry Brown and win a national title. And I'm going to say this now, you're going to see a team in the Final Four this year with 7 or 8 losses and be that good a basketball team to have a chance to win a national title.
88, it was Danny and the Miracles. They were not supposed to get to the Final Four, let alone walk off for the gold trophy. We'll continue with more of the UBS Paine-Weber post-game report in just a moment. Kansas has won for the 4th consecutive time today. We'll return to the studio in a moment.
Original, authentic, powerful. Now, the next big thing from Nissan, our national year-end event. 0.9% APR financing on most new Nissans. So, what's next? Just the end date. 0.9% ends January 6th.
Okay, crispy chicken sandwich and a Diet Coke. Would you like to add on a snack-sized fruit and yogurt parfait for $1?
Absolutely. What, am I like the millionth customer or something?
No, ma'am. Anyone can add on from the dollar menu for just $1.
This sort of thing never happens to me. Are there going to be balloons and confetti?
Well, it comes with granola.
Yes!
Got a buck? You're in luck. The McDonald's dollar menu. See something delicious, add it on for just $1.
Yay!
Woohoo!
ABC Sports Championship Television presents the Bowl Championship Series.
On New Year's Day, Washington State faces Oklahoma in the Rose Bowl game presented by PlayStation 2. Then Georgia takes on Florida State in the Nokia Sugar Bowl. January 2nd, Heisman Trophy winner Carson Palmer leads USC against Iowa in the FedEx Orange Bowl. And on January 3rd, #1 Miami battles #2 Ohio State for the national championship in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
The BCS only on ABC Sports.
Welcome back once again to the UBS Paine-Weber postgame report. John Saunders alongside Digger Phelps. More scores and highlights from around the nation in a moment. As you know, Kansas is now on for the 4th consecutive time. They did so beating Cal. One of the guys who called the game, Jay Billis, who's been a busy man this week, including following around Bob Knight and Roy Williams.
You know, John, Kansas with the win here in the Pete Newell Challenge over California. And Roy Williams is one of the best coaches and teachers in the country. And earlier this year, I got the chance to go out to Lawrence and watch him in action, in practice, one of the great teachers at work every day.
Push it up, push it up, push it up. Hard, Jeff, go ahead. Go ahead. You got the guy with you? You had another guy with you, Jeff. Just pass it. Let's go. Okay, secondary break dummy. I want blues down on this end, reds at the center line here watching.
When I talk to opposing coaches about your team, it's a consistent theme that they fear your secondary break more than anything. What makes it so good?
Well, I think the threat of our primary break really helps us too, so they know that we can come at them.
Good rebound, Wayne. Run, 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 run.
Vince Lombardi, the old sweep, you know, he said, yeah, we're going to do it. The Southern Cal student body right, student body left, we're going to do it. And for Kansas secondary break, we're going to do it.
Screen him. All right, you just ran down here and ran right by him. Stop right there. Keith, go there and come right off your shoulder to his hip. It's what we talked about before, not just perimeter players, everybody. Set your screens. Go screen a person.
We work on it every day. We work on it every possession every day.
To just pass it to him, he has no one screening for him. He has nothing happening, but over here we do. Don't just come and throw it. Have a reason for what you're doing.
We're going to do this, but can you stop it? And I think that may be one way that I'm a little more stubborn, I guess, is I don't care if you know what we're going to do, you still have to be able to stop us. We are going to push it like crazy.
Go, 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 go. All right, got to run, Wayne, got to run. Pitch ahead, now catch up. Take it to him, see what you have. Strong, atta boy. Good job.
We tell them if they don't run, they don't play. draw them to you and then pitch it up before you try to challenge two guys. You had a break situation. We tried to dribble through two guys and lost it on the dribble.
At times, you've got to challenge your guys and get on them. And how do you do that and still get guys to respond to you?
You know, I think every coach does try to decide or determine which guys you can really get on and which ones you need to pat on the back more. Nice job, Aaron.
Good, Moolah, attaboy. Bryant Nash made the play by hustling your butt off. Nice job. Got there and blocked it. Who screwed it up to start with?
I do that, but everybody's got to be corrected. And I don't want any mistake to go uncorrected.
All right, I didn't see you look to box out. I just certainly saw you looking like that. You got to find a guy to box. Rotate.
I think that many times if you do something over and over, then no longer is it a mistake, it's a habit. And it's my job to break those habits and put them in the right direction.
Bounce pass, Jeffrey.
You got through in your old days, it'll get through now.
Bryant, you work so freaking hard to get the ball and then throw it away. Moolah, lay the stupid ball up. I don't need you to show me and throw it behind your back.
They understand it, they handle it because they know I only have one goal, and that's to make them the best player.
Everybody on the end line. If somebody's going to cuss, Brian, it's going to be me, not you. We're running for Bryant Nash. He catches a rebound and throws the sucker away and thinks he solves things by cursing.
If I make each one of them the best player and get all of them to sacrifice towards a common goal, then that's coaching.
We had a chance to talk to Pete Newell, one of the greatest coaches and teachers in this game's history, and one of the things he talked about was basketball being overcoached and undertaught. Well, that is not the case in Lawrence, Kansas, because that is taught very well and taught by a great teacher in Roy Williams. And I think both you guys will agree, very few coaches teach as well as Roy Williams does.
Jay, I agree with you 100%, and that's something, it's a theme you hear from a lot of the veteran players, guys who've been in the NBA for 10, 15 years, say the guys coming out of college now haven't been taught to play the game. They don't understand the game. That's clearly not the point there.
Well, the veterans in the NBA know when they've got to run, but when you go back and look at Kansas, you look at North Carolina, and it's been the same tradition since Roy Williams was an assistant for Dean Smith at North Carolina. When he talks about the primary break, that's a 3-on-1, a 3-on-2. Most teams, if they don't have anything there, they come back out and set up a half-court offense. Now, the primary break leads into a secondary break, and that's when you get the fourth and fifth man, including the rebounder, involved with trying to beat the defense before they can set up, and that's why they're so good, especially when you give those extra screens for the guys coming off the center after he reverses the ball, and that's why they beat you so much inside on those easy transition points.
And the other 11 guys really like to run when it's that one guy that makes a mistake. You hate when you have to run for me when I mess up here. LSU, of course, they have beaten Arizona, the #1 team in the nation, when they knocked them off. Today against Tulane, a team they had not met since the 80s. I found that hard to believe. Forrest Bright hits a three-pointer here, and that breaks a record. Bright, LSU's all-time leader in three-pointers with 190. Jaime Loretta misses the easy one. Bridgewater cleans up the mess. Tigers up 46-37. Then Bright, the alley-oop to Ronald Dupree. The nail in the coffin. Tigers are up 64-55 at that point. They go on to get the easy victory. As I said, the first meeting since 1982 for two schools out of Louisiana. They won 19 of the last 20 against Tulane.
This LSU team is going to be very dangerous in the SEC. If they win at home, the question is, can they win on the road? And that's when you look and see how good they're going to be with Mississippi State as well as Georgia, those other teams chasing for the top of the SEC East and the West.
You mentioned they knocked off Arizona when they were #1. They've dropped now to #4 in the nation. This Arizona team, I think a lot of people thought could run the table just about to get to the end of the season, but clearly, there's so much parity in college basketball. You go on the road, it's a tough win for them.
Tell you what's happened to them. Without Luke Walton, they're actually becoming a better basketball team playing without him. Once he comes back into that lineup after that ankle is healed, they will get tested January 2nd when they have to go up and play at Oregon. Luke Ricknauer and those guys want to really get that game under their belt. The fact is this, Arizona has so much depth with Fox and Fry in that front line. Jason Gardner, one of the premier guards in the country. This is a very experienced team, but the Pac-10, John, is not a great conference this year. This will be probably their only test on the road playing at Oregon, and if they get by that one January 2nd, they may just run that table in the Pac-10.
Jason Gardner, hard to believe he's a senior that almost left with Gilbert Arenas after their sophomore years. Both declared for the draft, and Gardner decided to stay in school. Central Connecticut against UConn. and the Huskies. Are they going to be the power in the Big East this year? Well, for Jim Calhoun, he's going to be a power every year. Howie Dickerman, of course, his former assistant. And Ben Gordon off the steal takes it in for the jam. Ben Gordon, it was pretty much him all day, inside and out.
Inside, outside, because he just gets a transition going because Okafor is so strong on the board. Now the pick and roll, what I love about this, if you don't play him, he's going to shoot it. Philippe Brown makes it go downtown.
And Ben Gordon finds Okafor. This is what you're talking about, the big guy underneath. Gets a guy in his back in the jam.
17 points, 11 rebounds. He's been the force in the paint to give them the strength. They're going to get challenged, though, when they go out and play Oklahoma January 7th at Norman.
But UConn's won 20 of their last 21 games going back to last season. They lost, of course, to the tournament. Indiana against Temple, Mike Davis. First game since he lost it a little bit
from the Big Ten
against Kentucky. Yeah, that's right. They're suggesting 6 games. John Chaney back from pneumonia, and that is great news to see him. You want to talk about guys who teach the game. Newton grabs the rebound. It's stolen by Collins. Collins takes it in, the hoop and the foul. Free throw is good. Temple had a 1-point lead. Then Brian Polk looking at a three-pointer. That's an NBA three, and just nails it. 46-41 was the lead there. The Temple Owls, Alex Wesby, who, of course, was a great 6th man a year ago, turns around with a jumper from just inside the free throw line. Temple has a 2-point lead now, 65-63. There's just 25 seconds left, Digger.
But you don't see in that box score, where's Newton and where's Leach? And that's Indiana's problem. Well, those two guys don't show up. They struggle. I don't care who they're playing, at home or on the road.
Of course, the big news with Mike Davis, the head coach of Indiana, was the tirade at the end of the game against Kentucky when there was a foul that was not called, and he couldn't believe he got the second technical, tossed out of the game. The Big Ten is saying they're suggesting 6 games. You agree with that?
I never heard of a 6-game suspension. I don't think you can do that. I look at it this way. He got 2 T's in that game, got thrown out of the game against Kentucky. Now what do? All right, you fine him, and then you suspend him 1 game. But don't penalize somebody 6 games. I've never heard of that before. And the fact is this. Indiana is a very solid basketball team, and when they make the challenge in the Big Ten Conference, which starts next week, they don't need any other distractions coming along, and I think this may be part of the problem why they're not playing well against Temple in Philadelphia.
Mike Davis actually spoke with us before the game about the possibility of suspension.
You know, one guy asked me, am I the first guy ever been kicked out of a basketball game? I said, no. He said, well, people sure acting like it. And, you know, I think with the 6 games, they're like, well, Coach, you must have did something that we didn't see on television. And it's, you know, my aunt called me from Ohio, and she was all upset because they were writing bad things about me in the paper down there. I said, well, you know, I deserve some bad ink. I understand that, but, you know, hopefully we can just move past this and try to win a championship.
The interesting thing about this, and there's several angles, but Mike Davis looking at a 6-game suspension is ridiculous. His predecessor, Bobby Knight, of course, has had run-ins with officials as well. Never faced a 6-game suspension, so is there a double standard here?
I think we go back and look at that game where Ted Valentine hit him with 3 technicals, and that was after the second one he's ejected. That ended up just as a fine with no game suspension. But the number 6 just blows me away. I don't know where the Big Ten came up with that number. That's never happened before. Yes, coaches have been suspended for 1 game plus a fine, or just 1 game the next game. The fact is this, with 2.6 seconds to go in this game, they still had a chance to win. Davis was so upset when Bracy Wright didn't get called as he was going to the basket for the free throw, get fouled in the act of shooting. He went out of control, lost it, and the referee had nothing else to do but tee him up twice, eject him from the game. Game was over. 2
technicals. It does seem precedent there for 6-game suspension. Of course, Bob Knight has moved on to Texas Tech, where he's coaching a pretty good team against Minnesota. Minnesota at home has been extremely tough this year. Steve Esselink looking at a 3-pointer here. Gets it to a 72-67 game. Texas Tech had led throughout this one. It's just a 3-point contest. The miss at the free throw line. Rick Rickert, it's going to come to him. He's going to line up a 3. And he's going to bury it and send this game to overtime. In overtime, it was just about all Texas Tech. Powell off the steal to Ronald Ross. And Bob Knight probably upset with the fact that this game went into overtime, when you consider how well they played the rest of the game. And then their final possession was really poorly run.
Yeah, absolutely. But when you look at Robert Tomaszak, that kid is really solid. Big time inside, 28 points, 16 rebounds. And Texas Tech just really punished punished Minnesota inside 54-38 with points in the paint. This was a big win on the road because Texas Tech lost 2 weeks ago at Wyoming. He wins this one at Minnesota, which is a tough place to play. And I think now, as you get ready for the Big 12, Bob Knight and Texas Tech will be as good as anybody else in that conference, home and away. And they're going to make a real run this year after they made the NCAA tournament last year.
I heard you talk earlier this week, and it sounded as if you thought Texas Tech would have a tough time at Minnesota because
Absolutely.
the game was at Minnesota. The Big Ten this year, how good is it?
I think the Big Ten's solid when you take a look at what Illinois brings to the table, as well as I just love Tom Izzo's team at Michigan State. And I'll tell you what, his front line's playing solid. And Chris Hill has made the adjustment. They lost Marcus Taylor, who should have stayed and been the point guard in this team this year. But they've got a great front line. And now that Hill has confidence shooting the ball, as well as running the team at half court, Izzo's teams will always play well. And we know what Indiana's going to be. I just feel if Jeff Newton and George Leach play solid in the paint with Tom Coverdale running that team, we see what Bracey Wright brings to the table. This Indiana team's on one mission. We want to get back to the Final Four where we lost last year, and they have the capabilities of doing that. So the Big Ten will challenge each other, but when you look at teams like Minnesota, tough place to win up there in Minneapolis, and that was a big win today for Texas Tech.
Yeah, the question for Minnesota is, can they win on the road away from home? More from the Big Ten. Iowa in non-conference play against Tulsa today, and they get a 67-63 win. Chauncey Leslie at 21 points to lead the Hawkeyes.
Well, Steve Alford knows he's got to get this program on track. When he lost in the ACC Big Ten Challenge to Florida State, I said, wow, they're going to have a long season. But this was a big win today, knocking off Tulsa, because Tulsa is as good as any team in the country.
Michigan out of the Big Ten with a tough game on the road against UCLA. Daniel Horton pulls up and nails a three-pointer. 7-3 of the game. The Wolverines have a 16-point lead, but Jason Capona trying to lead them back. In the paint, fights his way up, lays it in, and he's fouled. 16-6 run to get within 6, but then Horton with a runner. Tip no good. Lavelle Blanchard finishes off with the bucket. And Digger, this is a tough one to figure out. This is a Michigan team with just now 5 wins. Yes, UCLA is struggling this year as well, but it's at UCLA, and Michigan blows them out.
Well, it's a 5th win in a row for, you look at Michigan not really playing well early in the season, but now the fact they got 5 wins, that's very, very important. UCLA, to me, is really a nightmare, and I think Steve Lavin knows this. It looks like the kids don't have any confidence in anything. Jason Capona only has 2 points in the first half. He's got to be the guy to take this team over and get it going. They still have the Pac-10 conference to get together. But when they lost to Duke, everybody turned them down. Last week, they get blown out of Kansas, and now losing at home to Michigan, as well as all those other games they lost at home this year. The banners around Pauley Pavilion are for national championships, not Sweet 16 appearances, and I think that's where Steve Lavin this year, they fired their football coach. And when you take a look at basketball, if it's going to happen, it could be this season. And Lavin knows that, but he's got to get Capona to take this team over.
You make the point they could get healthy during the Pac-10 season. That's not a good place to try and get happy when you're in the Pac-10. Let's continue with more of the UBS Payne Weber post-game report in just a moment. Just again, Kansas a winner over Cal.
Number 14, an available 32-valve I-Force V8 engine. Number 21, available downhill assist control. Number 77, available X-Rius Sport Enhancement suspension. Number 8, Hill Start assist control. Number 60, a larger, more comfortable interior. The all-new 2003 4Runner has been completely redesigned with nearly 100 new advancements and changes. It's larger, more powerful, and more capable.
On January 17th, one security guard.
I'm a virtual one-man full SWAT team. I got skills.
Is copping an attitude.
What the problem is? What the problem is? What the problem is? What the problem is?
Martin Lawrence.
You're insane! And you're resisting arrest.
National security.
Do you actually believe the crap that comes out of your mouth?
Well, I'm never really sure. So I'm finished talking.
Rated PG-13. In theaters January 17th.
This is the UBS Payne Weber post-game report. We told you Temple trying to close out Indiana in the final sections of the game. It is now a final, Digger, 71-64. Hoosiers fall.
Well, this is a big win for Temple. Starting the season 0-5. John Chaney coming back after fighting pneumonia his first game back. Wow, what a big win for them. The Hoosiers got their heads down.
Florida facing Bethune-Cookman today. Billy Donovan's team He's not sure what he is this year. They've looked great some days and not so great others. O'Neal Carter loses the ball. Justin Hamilton takes it in, plus he gets fouled. Florida, though, has a 14-point lead. Matt Walsh pulls up for a long three, and at this point, the Gators are rolling 42-26. Walsh penetrates this time. David Lee cleans it up.
Lee cleans it up, and when you look at Florida, their offensive rebounding, second chance points, really excellent. When you look at Roberson and Walsh, these two freshmen combined for 51 points. And this team, I think, has become a perimeter team. They don't have points in the paint, but the fact is this, they're really solid, especially with Nelson being the leader. And from that standpoint, look out, Florida. They will be another challenge in the SEC.
Marquette blows out Grambling 105-74. They've won 23 straight at home now.
Love Robert Jackson. That's going to be the key player as they get everything going for themselves. Marquette, a very solid team. Their only loss at Notre Dame.
For Georgetown, Mike Sweetney had a sore hamstring today, held to 11 points foul trouble, and Virginia beats him 79-75.
Big win for Pete Gillen. I think they look at what the ACC is going to be. Georgetown going to be challenged in the Big East West because they got to fight Syracuse as well as Notre Dame and Pitt.
All right, for Digger Phelps, I'm John Saunders. Thanks for watching UBS PaineWeber Post-Game Report. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Don't forget, Monday night, it's the 49ers and Rams to close out the 2003 NFL season. Now, except on the West Coast, stay tuned for ABC's World News Tonight Saturday, or your local news over most of these ABC stations.
This has been the UBS PaineWeber Postgame Report.
Tradition continues. Sports' biggest events, right here. This is ABC Sports Championship Television.
Few things make watching college football and eating Tostitos better. Those few things are your own mascot, personalized end zone, and Keith Jackson in your backyard.
We've got a real grudge match here today. And don't miss the biggest party of the year, the 2003 Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, January 3rd on ABC.
Just ahead on ABC 7 News, the latest on the Daly's health. One of them has been cleared to leave the hospital, but the other has to spend the night again. We'll have a live report. Plus, a suburban publisher is being blamed for putting porn into a Barney book for kids. And what caused dozens of vehicles to crash into each other in a massive pileup. In sports, tempers flare as the Demons try to come back from an awful start.
The composure.
Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Since we've got no place to go, let it snow, let it snow, let it snow. Let it snow, let it snow, let it snow.
Announcing the final days of Chevy's year-end event.
It's your last chance.
Maybe we'll stick to what we do best. Now get $3,000 total cash back on the 2003 Avalanche and Silverado during the year-end event. Or get 0% APR for 60 months on 2003 Chevy SUVs.
Just scold me, cause when I'm bad, we're so bad.
See your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Chevy dealers today.
Bears Bucks, Sunday at 7 on ABC 7.
This is ABC 7 News, Chicago's #1 news, with Rob Johnson, Cheryl Burton, weather with Mike Kaplan, and sports with Jeff Blanzy. This is ABC 7 News at 5.
So I'm going to keep him for another day just to make sure that he's able to tolerate this, hydrate him overnight, and hopefully send him home tomorrow.
Mayor Richard Daley is still hospitalized after catching a nasty flu bug. His wife Maggie was also sick, but she's been cleared to go home by her doctors. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I'm Rob Johnson. Cheryl is off today. The Daleys were rushed to the hospital yesterday. The mayor is still weak and having trouble eating, so he'll spend another night at Northwestern. Mrs. Daly can leave if she wants to and is expected to be back home this evening. ABC 7's Ben Bradley is live at Northwestern with the latest on their conditions. Ben.
Good evening, Rob. The mayor's spokeswoman says he is improving bit by bit. Within the last hour or so, for the first time, the mayor has actually been able to keep down a little bit of solid food. Maggie Daly, though, is doing far better. Doctors actually gave her the green light to go home this morning, but she's chosen to stay at her husband's side, but she will most likely spend the night in her own bed tonight. But right now, it looks like doctors are saying that Mayor Daly might not head home from the hospital until sometime tomorrow afternoon.
Well, he's sitting up, walking around, chattering away as he has been all day. Actually, only earlier he was doing it from bed as opposed to walking around and sitting up.
The mayor is showing some signs of finally fighting off this flu bug, but doctors say Daly didn't put up a fight when they ordered him to spend a second night here at Northwestern Memorial Hospital.
When you're nauseated and you're vomiting and you feel terrible, it's not that hard to convince them.
Doctors say as of late this afternoon, the mayor was still having trouble keeping down solid food. He remains on an IV to keep him from becoming dehydrated once again. The medical staff is also performing blood tests on the mayor and monitoring his blood pressure. He's also hooked up to an EKG machine to monitor his heart rate.
It's not unusual for this particular stomach flu to last 24, 48 hours. Some people clear up more quickly. Others can last a little bit longer.
Maggie Daly appears to be recovering faster than her husband, despite a cracked rib on her right side. Doctors say she's been in considerable pain since the flu caused her to faint, fall, and injure herself in her home yesterday morning. Doctors say it'll take about 3 to 6 weeks for her rib to heal. As for the Daly's pre-existing health problems, Maggie Daly's breast cancer and the mayor's hypertension, Dr. Stephen DeAngelis says this ferocious flu isn't a factor.
With all my patients, I always take into account their past medical history because I don't believe in gambling with my patients' health. But at this particular time, I don't see any interplay between this virus and their current conditions.
The mayor and his wife have been surrounded by family members throughout their hospitalization.
How's the mayor doing?
Good. He's all right.
Watch yourself. This evening, the mayor's staff says he is in relatively good spirits but remains weak. The bottom line, doctors just didn't want him to go home and then have trouble keeping down food and water, become dehydrated once again, and then have him wind up right back here in the hospital. Reporting live outside Northwestern Memorial Hospital, Ben Bradley, ABC 7 News. Rob?
Ben, we know that this strain of flu is a little bit more severe than other ones that we see from time to time. Is there any explanation from doctors as to why the mayor has had a slower recovery than his wife, who even had the cracked rib on top of it?
Well, obviously, both of them had very severe reactions to this particular flu bug that we're told is going around all over Chicago. But doctors say of those patients who get this particular strain, only about 10 to 30% of them have the violent reactions that the Dalys did. And so they say once it happens, there's simply nothing they can do other than to keep them hydrated, because at this point, there's no vaccine for this particular flu bug. Rob?
Indeed, Ben. Ben Bradley live at Northwestern Memorial Hospital for us tonight. Thank you, Ben. Elsewhere, police say drunk driving is to blame for a crash that shattered a suburban family. A young mother is killed, and now her sister is in the hospital. It happened in Chicago Ridge. ABC 7's Sarah Schulte has more in a live report for us tonight. Sarah.
Well, Rob, 23-year-old Nicole Cahill was killed instantly in the crash. She leaves behind a 7-month-old son. Cahill's sister, Noelle, was brought here to Christ Hospital in Oak Lawn. She remains in critical condition. We are told her family is by her bedside. Meantime, charges are pending against the driver who caused the crash.
You're taking a look at what's left of a Saturn driven by 23-year-old Nicole Cahill. The Chicago Ridge resident and her 19-year-old sister Noelle were driving westbound on 111th in Chicago Ridge when witnesses saw a Buick Regal blow through a red light at a high rate of speed. The Buick crashed into the driver's side of the Saturn.
The offending vehicle penetrated the victim's vehicle approximately 3 feet. In other words, the right front tire of the offender's vehicle was halfway through the back seat. of the victim's car.
Nicole was killed instantly. Her sister Noelle was rushed to Christ Hospital. Police say it's believed the driver of the Buick was drunk. He only received minor injuries and is now in police custody. The Chicago Ridge police chief says this tragedy should be another reminder about drinking and driving, especially this time of the year.
We have a program here in Chicago Ridge where 365 days a year, anyone that feels they've had too much to drink at any of our local establishments, we provide free cab fare home for them within 10-mile radius.
Again, Noelle Cahill remains in critical condition here at Christ Hospital. We're told her mother, her brother, and her sister are by her side, and charges are pending against a Chicago resident. In this case, police say that he was drunk. Also, police believe he was not driving. He was driving with an invalid driver's license. Live at Christ Hospital in Oakland, Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 News. Rob, back to you.
Sarah, thank you. One man is dead after he crashed his snowmobile, causing the evacuation of several homes. It happened in Cedar Lake, Indiana, early this morning. Lake County Sheriff officials say 35-year-old Michael Kotecki of St. John, Indiana, died of head injuries after he ran his snowmobile into a 12,000-gallon ammonia tank. The crash sheared off a valve, causing a leak.
It was creating quite a cloud. It was about anywhere from 10 to 20 gallons a minute coming out, creating quite a cloud. We evacuated the houses in the immediate area.
8 homes were evacuated as a precaution. Everyone is back in their homes tonight, though. Why Kotecki crashed is still under investigation. Meantime, several families are without heat tonight after a gas leak on the west side. Police and fire crews responded to the scene on Adams overnight, where the high-pressure leak sent gas into the air. No one was evacuated, but service was cut off to about 70 residents. The gas is still off, and it's not yet known when service will be restored. The cause of the leak remains under investigation. A Chicago man is charged with first-degree murder in the Christmas Day beating of a 6-year-old girl. The suspect, 24-year-old David Hernandez. He's also charged with domestic battery. Police believe Alma Manjarres tried to stop a fight between Hernandez and her mother, who is his girlfriend. They say Hernandez then tried to beat the girl to death. An autopsy determined that she died from blunt trauma. Chicago police shot and wounded an armed man this morning. Police responded to a fight between a couple at 63rd and Maplewood. A 21-year-old woman had been stabbed in the face. When officers arrived on the scene, the victim told them her attacker was behind a building. Officers found the man armed with a gun, threatening to shoot himself.
He put the gun to his head, said he was going to shoot himself. The officers backed away, came back down the stairs. The offender then came down the stairs with the weapon, telling the officers he was going to shoot them. An officer opened fire.
The man was hit twice. He was taken to the hospital where he is listed in serious condition. The woman was treated and released. The investigation continues, as you might imagine. Today, hundreds got the help they needed to have another chance at success. On Chicago's South Side, people lined up for the opportunity to sit down with an attorney, one-on-one, free of charge. They're looking for legal advice after an arrest or conviction left a blemish on their record, making it difficult to get a job. Today, they could learn if they're eligible to have their record cleared. Algie Criven served more than 8 years in prison before his conviction was overturned. Even though his record was technically cleared, he still had major problems when applying for jobs.
My record was cleared, but it wasn't cleared on paper in the databases. So when someone ran my social, it would come up that I was a convicted felon, which I wasn't anymore, though.
It took Criven several years before the Prisoner Review Board granted him a pardon through Governor George Ryan. Some 50 attorneys did the work today pro bono. Last year, 2,000 people attended the forum. The event was organized by 7th District Congressman Danny Davis. A wall of fog leads to a horrific accident. Up next, dozens of vehicles bang into each other when visibility is reduced to nothing.
Her children got what I consider to be pornography.
Plus, a family's big surprise inside a Barney book that's published by a local company. And later, a musical celebration for Kwanzaa.
I'm not a Platinum Mile Plus member or a part of the Gold Member Max Mileage More plan. or some Air Plus frequent flying first class mileage double platinum golden wing VIP. I'm just Doug Barnes, a regular guy who wants a good flying experience at a good fare.
A good flying experience and a good fare, even if you're just Doug Barnes.
Is that too much to ask?
ATA, an honestly different airline.
Everything must go at American Sales Christmas clearance this weekend. Save up to 75% on everything Christmas. Trees, trim, lights, garland, candles, fiber optics, and more. A 6-foot Oregon fir tree is now just $19.99. 300 light icicle sets are just $3.93. Thousands of outdoor figures are half off. Animated figures half off. Hostess gifts half off. Save up to 75% on everything Christmas at American Sale now through Sunday. For the store near you, call 1-800-298-4343.
It only happens once a year. Toyotathon 03. This year-end tradition features incredible values on Toyota's full line of SUVs. Now lease the Highlander for just $309 a month with only $709 due at signing. Or lease the sporty RAV4 for just $219 a month. And see the totally redesigned 4Runner. It's bigger and better than ever. And now available with V8 power. Toyotathon 03. Don't miss it.
There's a lot of mattress options today. We try to use our expertise in guiding you to the one that's right for you.
During our lowest prices ever sale, save big on a Serta Luxury Pillow Top Queen set, only $329. Also get a free frame and delivery.
We don't want to just sell you a mattress. We want to make sure you're comfortable. So we give you a 30-night trial and a 60-day price guarantee.
American Mattress. It's a family thing. Call 1-800-TO-DREAM.
Hurry, sale ends Tuesday.
Overseas tonight, the crisis with North Korea has worsened. Today, the UN announced it will withdraw its last 2 nuclear inspectors by Tuesday, complying with the communist nation's demand. This would leave the world without an eye into a weapons program that experts believe could produce several nuclear devices in as little as 30 days. Iraq complied with a key United Nations demand today by providing the names of more than 500 scientists. A UN official says those scientists are linked to Iraq's nuclear, chemical, biological, and missile programs. UN inspectors hope the list will help them learn more about Iraq's suspected weapons of mass destruction. Meanwhile, the inspectors checked an alleged chemical complex south of Baghdad. British intelligence officials say the complex produces a deadly chemical agent. In Kuwait, the government wants to make sure emergency workers and military personnel are ready to handle a possible war with Iraq. The country's largest civil defense exercise ever was held today. Unannounced, simulated attacks tested police officers, firefighters, and soldiers. The drills included fake missile and chemical assaults. Back in this country, in Houston, fog leads to a massive pileup involving more than 70 vehicles. Visibility was awful at the time of the chain reaction crash. Some of the cars and trucks involved caught fire. Traffic was stalled for hours in both directions.
It was just poor visibility due to the fog. And then when you have zero visibility, you have no idea as to what is ahead of you. And then people are failing to control their speeds, automatically just start running into each other.
Miraculously, no one was killed. 5 people were seriously hurt, though, and 20 others suffered minor injuries. A suburban publisher is accused of slipping an X-rated photo into a kiddie book about Barney the purple dinosaur. 2 New Jersey children discovered the picture of a man and a woman in a naked embrace. They found the image when a plastic panel fell off the Sing-Along Songs Barney book.
The children ran to their mother, and they were embarrassed by it, and they were excited by it, and it caused somewhat of a commotion in the household.
The photo apparently came from a review of adult movies in a German magazine. In a letter to the family, Lincolnwood-based Publications International is blaming a foreign manufacturer for the problem, but the company did not apologize. The family doesn't plan to sue, though. They just want an apology to reassure their children that Barney is pure. Publications International did not return our calls for comment. Still ahead, our break from winter continues. Mike's warmer than normal forecast is coming your way next.
Hi, my name is Captain Ken Sachs, and my wife, Ari, and son, Noah, are here at Misawa Air Base, Japan. This goes out to my parents, Jeff and Judy Sachs, out in Aurora, Illinois. Happy holidays.
190 North goes prime time with the year's best of the best in food, music, nightlife, and adventures. Plus the biggest and brightest stars. Join Janet Davies for the year's best 190 North, Sunday at 6 on ABC 7.
Disney on Ice presents Princess Classics. Join Cinderella, The Little Mermaid, Sleeping Beauty, Jasmine, and more live in your hometown. Get tickets today.
Coming to Allstate Arena and United Center. Tickets are on sale now.
It's our service, it's our range. It's our names and it won't change. That you can't do better, you can't do better than me.
After ho, 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 say no, no, no with 18 months, no interest, no payments, no deposit, and free delivery at all Bay locations. Hurry, no, no, no ends Monday.
Always buy better at Bay.
Whoa! Hey, stop the music. Guys, everyone stop. We don't need all this. Kias are already a great value, so we got good deals on top of good deals here. Like $2,000 cash back on a Spectra and $1,000 cash back on Rio. Plus our 10-year warranty. What is that?
It's a sales monkey.
Visit your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Kia retailers. Hurry, offer ends soon.
Right, Mom.
Hey, Gail, what's with the,
my wireless company didn't give me enough anytime minutes, so I hired a minute manager.
A minute manager?
Well, it's cheaper than always going over my minutes. Oh, sorry, Mom.
I'm here.
Gotta go.
At U.S. Cellular, great wireless service starts with award-winning customer service.
Which means you'll get minutes to use, not manage.
U.S. Cellular. We connect with you. Get 900 anytime minutes for only $20 per month for your first year.
Celebrating with song, dozens gathered at Chicago's Malcolm X College to observe Kwanzaa. Thursday marked the beginning of the celebration. During the 7-day holiday, Africans and African Americans honor their common heritage by participating in events based on early harvest gatherings.